Welcome to Friday action from Aqueduct in the opening weekend of the winter meet here in South Ozone Park. American Monarch showed promise in his dirt track debut. Could the son of the Triple Crown champ, American Pharoah, be even more effective in his second start off a long time off? In Hot Springs, Arkansas, bringing the final 5 races on today's card, including the long-awaited return of a sprinter who many thought was destined to be the star of the division. Nashville returns for the first time of his 4-year-old campaign. Ricardo Santana Jr. was on him last time. He'll have a new pilot today. Welcome to America's Day at the Races on FS2. Good to have you with us. Our program brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Greg Wolf alongside Maggie Wolfendale to bring you the remaining action on today's cards in New York and at Oaklawn. And it's an exciting return here for Nashville. This was a horse who showed so much promise early on in his career.
And Greg, this is a horse that they even thought coming off the back of a maiden and allowance win in blowout fashion, even putting him in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. But they opted for the undercard race at Perryville, in which he ran 107 and 4, which is just serious racehorse time. Now, he was disappointing in the Malibu the last time we saw him, but he did emerge out of that with a minor setback, has had a chip taken out of his ankle, and then Elliott Walden citing that there's just been some minor bumps in the road, but he's back. Steve Asmussen will send him out. As you mentioned, Florent Giroux aboard for the first time today.
2 Grade 1 winners, another graded stakes winner, all the 3 horses in front of him when we last saw him, so not a bad group he was facing as well. And obviously things went amiss. He went to the bench. He's going to be exciting to see back in action. He'll have the rail, race 8 today at Oaklawn. Here's what's ahead, presented by Claiborne Farm. Races 6 through 8 coming up here in New York. 7th race, approaching the 6-minute mark to post. Sorry, the 6th race. And then Oaklawn races 5 through 9 ahead. You play it all with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Go to nairabets.com, download the app, and take advantage of that offer. $200 deposit match sign-up bonus with that promo code for new members, bonus 200. Again, download the app or go right there, nairabets.com. to get involved. 6th in New York, 1-turn mile. New York bred first allowance condition coming up. And right now, Coffee Bar. Interesting 3-year-old filly here for Todd Pletcher, who broke her maiden in her 2nd career start. She's been off since late August at Saratoga. Disappointed when we last saw her in that Fleet Indian at 1 1/8 at Saratoga. She'd won at that distance the start before.
Yeah, but prior to that, too, she'd never been off the board in those 5 previous starts, Greg. She is returning for Todd Pletcher, but as far as coming back off layoffs, especially at route distances, he just always seems to have them ready. And I kind of think, thinking about her and what she looks like, I think the 1-turn mile might be her best distance in here. She gets back to it here at the Big A. And last time we saw her finishing, albeit well, behind by Hubby Hello Money, who's actually a pretty good horse for Bob Dunham.
There she is. Manny Franco will be aboard, 2-1 favorite right now. And we'll have our post spread here coming up in a moment. She's tackling a couple of older fillies in this group, the majority of 3-year-old fillies, but here is Raffinity to kick things off. Oscar Barrera.
She'll be stretching back out in distance. She's going to have to get better. Her last few leave little to be desired.
Horatio de Paz, 2nd off the claim with Amity Island.
I thought Blinkers On was an interesting angle. A filly that likes to run with her head in the air. Maybe that'll get her to drop into stride a bit more.
9-2 as well next door on Karamoka.
Considering she battled with the horse that eventually finished last, I thought her last effort was really good.
Witch Hunter, she absolutely had an excuse last start at Finger Lakes.
Yeah, but she's meeting better here. Charlie Baker, although her numbers fit, is going to have to get her to run one of her best.
Coffee Bar, here's the daughter of Outwork for Todd Pletcher.
We'll see what she does off the layoff. She has run races that make her a major player here, though she might have to get a little faster.
Charlie Baker with Destination Winner's Circle as well, Lemon Drop Kid filly.
Yeah, this is a good backup plan for Charlie. Witch Hunter has a bit more speed than Destination Winner's Circle. She's coming back off a layoff, too.
Pendolino, big long shot, went by at 27-1 and slowly making her way onto the track. That is key.
I thought she was a little interesting. Ralph D'Alessandro, he always has horses here during the winter. They seem to run well. I thought her first effort for the barn off the claim was very good up at Finger Lakes.
And 21 outside on this filly, Empire's First Lady for Russell Cash.
Her better races have come on the turf. As she switches back to the main track today, she's going to have to come up with a performance that she's never even gotten close to in the past.
4 minutes to post here in the 6th. Coming up on this Friday card in New York, our friend Jonathan Kinchin joining us on the program. Looks like you got a haircut, too.
You got a little haircut, got a new backdrop. I'm in Saratoga. The food wasn't cutting it in Austin, so I decided to come up here, spend a little bit of time. But it's cold. It's a little bit different than the summer, I can tell you guys that much. I think 2 horses in here make the most sense to me. The 5 Coffee Bar gets Lasix for Todd Pletcher. I like horses that have tried longer and are cutting back. Now, this horse is coming in off of a layoff, so it doesn't really count as a true cutback. But I do feel like the 1-turn mile at Aqueduct plays more to like a 9-furlong horse cutting back than a 6 or a 7-furlong horse stretching out. It is that elongated sprint with that 1-turn mile. Give me the horses that have a little bit more stamina. The other horse I thought was interesting, the 3 Karamoka. It's a horse that showed a little bit of tactical speed last time, and I think could improve and take another step forward. Lost a little bit of ground in that last race, and obviously is a much better price than you're getting on the favorite, the 5 Coffee Bar. I trust Todd Pletcher here and Manny Franco on the dirt, but if you're allergic to the chalk, take a look at the 3 Karamoka.
All right, JK, thanks. 7-2 on Karamoka, who's on our screen right now with Javier Castellano.
This is who I like the most in here. I thought her last race, as I was mentioning, was a really good step in the right direction. And the horse that she was battling with, who was the favorite, I'm Perfect too, finished last that day. Now, maybe something went awry with her, but Epona's Dream just sat the almost perfect trip and was able to run her down late, whereas Karamoka, she paddled on gamely throughout. So, as JK said, she has that tactical speed. She isn't good. I like that newfound kind of tactical speed, I should say, that she showed in her last race. You would think she's not going to be out sprinted here. It's a weird race, Greg, in that Witch Hunter, she has consistently, at least on the buyer scale, run faster. But her last effort, I thought, now it was over a sloppy sealed track. She was 1-4 that day, as we'll check out the start
this
here.
This start completely compromised her. So this put her behind the 8 ball from the outset, and look how wide she is around this first turn, and she's wide throughout the entire racetrack all the way around.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's necessarily the worst thing. Yeah, she is going very wide there. You can even see her on the screen. But the flip side of that, too, and maybe she was just completely compromised. Maybe she didn't particularly love finger legs. I know a lot of horses sometimes just will not run their A efforts over that surface. She comes here to Aqueduct. Track is now labeled fast. My problem is who she faced. She was 1-4 for a reason. She is, in perspective-wise, possibly facing a better field here, as OK Honey was able to wire the field on the stretch out. OK Honey and Impress the Professor, I mean, they would probably be more competitive in a 25 claimer than this A other than.
We'll see.
At
She's
Aqueduct.
favored right now. You're right about that, but there's no, I mean, tail of trips, different trip, and she probably would have put that field away. We'll find out. She's co-favorite right now. Coffee Bar with Coffee Bar. I'm a little surprised by that.
Coffee Bar, it's a Todd Pletcher factor. Todd is coming in off of a huge, our very abbreviated fall meet here at the Big A, that huge Cigar Mile Day where he nearly swept all 4 of the greatest stakes, minus the Go for Wand handicap, Mo Donegal, Nest, and then American Revolution. His horses are running, and this is the type of thing that Todd has consistently been successful with. Horses coming off layoffs, going a route of ground, and as JK said, I think, if you're really splitting hairs, I think a 1-turn mile is more preferable for her than the 2-turn 9 furlongs up at the Spa.
So we'll see what happens here coming up. Pletcher, Witch Hunter, both at 2-1 on the board. It's kind of going back and forth between those two in terms of favoritism in this spot as we take another look at Karamoka. You look, too, back to Karamoka, who you went with her 3 best efforts figure-wise, they've all come in a mile.
They have. I think it's just perfect. I love the way she's on her toes here. Mitch Freeman had a huge day yesterday, so maybe the barn kind of going well. Now, Javier Castellano does climb aboard for the first time. I'm not too worried about that. The Hall of Fame rider spending the winter here. Good to see him staying here in New York. I think he fits very well with the jockey colony. Yeah, it's probably going to be a little saltier than it has in years past, as with Jose Ortiz sticking around too, but I like the fact that Javier climbs aboard for her 3rd start off of that little bit of a freshening midsummer.
1 turn mile here coming up, and there is Karamoka stepping in. She's at 3-1, 3rd choice on the board. Right now it's Witch Hunter the 4, slight favorite, and the 3-year-old filly for Pletcher Coffee Bar at 2-1 as well. As this long shot, Pendolino getting a little help into the gate. John Imbriel to kick off the 6th here from New York on FS2.
Waiting for That Is Key and Empire's First Lady. They're all in. And they're off. That Is Key, Empire's First Lady from the outside. Now Pendolino moves up in between horses. Destination Winner Circle is racing in 4th. Down at the rail, Raffinity advances from 5th. Then it is Witch Hunter and Karamoka. The 2 of them are together. And at the back of the pack, Coffee Bar and Amity Island. They have crossed over to the main track. And it is Pendolino with a head in front of That Is Key. And down at the rail, it is Raffinity, the quarter 23-1. The front 3 have 2.5 lengths on Destination Winner Circle, who runs in 4th. Karamoka on the inside, next in 5th. Then comes Empire's First Lady in 6th, followed by Coffee Bar, who's moving up from 7th. Amity Island is gaining a bit of ground, and the trailer is Witch Hunter in 9th. The half, 46 3/5 seconds. A 3-way battle up front. Pendolino's in between horses. That Is Key on the outside. Raffinity is down at the rail with Destination Winner Circle just in behind in 4th. A break of 3 back to Karamoka and Amity Island, and then Coffee Bar as they come for the top of the stretch. Destination Winner Circle is making her move now on the extreme outside. Here comes Destination Winner Circle to challenge for the lead. Here's Destination Winner Circle to take over the lead as Karamoka moves up on the outside into 2nd. Destination Winner Circle and Karamoka. Amity Island is now in 3rd. As they move past the 8th pole, Karamoka has taken over the lead. Destination Winner Circle back in 2nd, then Amity Island, and That Is Key. They're coming on for the finish. Karamoka, one last try from Amity Island. It's going to be tight now, and it's going to be a photo finish at the end. Amity Island, did she get up? Karamoka was right there. Photo finish in race 6.
Karamoka, where's that wire? Here comes Amity Island, and she may have got her. This is very tight.
I think Amity Island did get her, Greg, as she is not an easy horse to ride, Amity Island. You know, it was good to see, refreshing to see, a 3-way pace stool up front. So it's set up nicely. Destination Winner Circle, she was the first to pounce. She came up short, then right behind her was Karamoka, but the one to make the last move looked to be the winning one. Look at Amity Island here. Kendrick Carmouche is urging her left-handed. She wants to lug in, Kendrick's like, no, the way to the winner's circle is to go outside this horse. And I think she gets up.
7-1 if it is Amity Island. It was 5-2 on Karamoka.
Oh, it's a head bobber.
That is tight.
I do think the 2 got it, though. Karamoka, she got the right setup. Javier gave her a great ride, but yeah, I mean, in hindsight, it's always 20/20. Maybe she moved early. I can't even say that. I think Amity Island just finally put her head down and kind of ran straight today with those blinkers on for Horacio de Paz.
Well, here's Javier and Karamoka, and he's got to feel real good about his chances at this point. But hold on, here comes Kendrick.
Well, how about the lack of performances from Coffee Bar and the 4 in here, Witch Hunter, who I think was eased.
Yeah.
Coffee Bar, you know, it looked as though she was getting the right setup, and she had nothing in the lane.
Disappointing, absolutely, from both. And it is the 2 at 7-1. Amity Island with the victory over Karamoka at 5-2. 2, 3, 6, 8. We're going to take a timeout. We have the late pick 5 coming up from Hot Springs, Arkansas. We'll kick it off with a Arkansas bred maiden special weight when we come back. Stay with us.
Eclipse champion Blame ranks among the nation's top sires at a fraction of the price. His recent top runners include Aga Khan stud Saidabad, a top performer overseas, stakes winners Mandate, Officiating, Love the Nest, Dancing Kiki, and Blame JD. With success on the track and success in the ring, this proven son of Arch is truly a gold value stallion. Blame, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, what's going on, Gary?
Hello. Enjoying the 75-degree weather before the rain hits.
Oh, nice.
So we started tours here about 30 plus years ago, and we really saw a need as more people started to come to visit to have a place for them to check in, restrooms, and a lot of people were also trying to buy merchandise. And so we decided to take this building that we had here on the farm and turn it into the visitor center. We have a lot of Secretariat stuff. We started with just a few items, but I mean, one of the main reasons people come here is to see his grave, and so that's what people want to buy and want to take home with them, because that's what they remember a lot about the tour. I really love the Secretariat stuffed animal. I think it just captures him well. It's great for Secretariat fans, but it also has our logo on it. We also added a shuttle tour a couple years ago. We were getting a lot of requests for people to see the rest of the farm. People always thought, what's over that mysterious hill? And so we bought an electric shuttle. We take them through the mares and foals division. The visitor center is open every day that we have tours from 9:30 to 12:30. I feel like we have a lot of families in the summer because they're doing their summer vacation and traveling, and then race fans April, October, November.
Our program brought to you in part by legendary Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well, and home to an astounding number of champions over the many years in this sport. Just incredible. Let's go back to the 6th at Aqueduct, and this is a tough beat if you had Karamoka.
It is. It is. She was the only one of the 3 favorites to show up, though. But credit to Horacio De Paz and especially Kendrick Carmouche with Amity Island, who wants to lug in the entire stretch. You know, a filly that was putting blinkers on for the first time because she lacked that ability to kind of put her head down and run on. Well, she did that today. She just didn't want to do it straight, Greg, and finally just getting up, and Kendrick with perfect timing to get the job done. And Kendrick coming off the back of a 3-win day yesterday, riding really well to begin this Aqueduct winter meet.
Riding at this meet, maybe with a little angst after how it ended last year. He had a 4-win lead going into the final day of the meet, and Eric Kensell at a 6-win day.
It was the most dramatic stretch drive of a jockey race I have ever seen. Kendrick, though, all class. When Eric wrapped it up, came over and gave him a big hug and congratulated him.
It was an incredible finish. It was fun to watch. that play out. Back at Hot Springs, Pick 5 starts here, 6 furlongs. State-bred maiden special weight coming up, 6 furlong distance in this one, and Derby Day Lassie, a bunch of first-time starters, really only one with experience in this field, and that is the horse on the rail. We bring in our Hall of Famer Gary Stevens to talk to us about today's card and specifically this race coming up. How do you approach a race like this with a bunch of first-time starters as a jockey?
Well, Greg, first things first, it's a beautiful day here in Oaklawn, overcast, but 75 degrees. People are in short sleeves out here. We're hoping that we can avoid the rain before the races get over with. We don't want any rain. We're looking forward to the feature race of the day, where Nashville will be making his awaited return after being off almost a year. He ran in the Grade 1 Malibu Stakes at Santa Anita last year. He was favored in that. He was put on the bench for a rest after that race for about 4 months. I talked to Elliot Walden, the president of Windstar Farm, earlier this morning. They're looking forward to his return. He was sent back to Steve and then had another little bit of a rest after having suffering some back stiffness, soreness, and he's been brought back prepared for today's return. So looking forward to that in the 8th race today. But as far as these first-time starters go, it just depends on how they're acting. It's sort of like opening up a bag of Cracker Jacks. You don't know what you're going to get as far as a surprise. So you're just trying to keep them focused and relaxed as well as alert, all at the same time. It's a fine line. Listen, they've been schooled and practiced in the morning for months and months and months for this first journey that they're going to have. So this is all new to them. They've been out, done it in the morning in company with 2 or 3 horses, but not 9 or 10 other horses like they're going to face today. So they're going to get dirt and kicked in their face. Some of them are. Other ones are going to go try and show some speed. But you want to get an alert break. Make their first race as good of an experience as you can make, because hopefully they have a long career. And this is, again, you're trying to win, but it's more of a learning experience for several of these horses in here. They really improve after one out. So that was always what I focused on with these first-time starters, and we've got 10 of them in this race, Greg.
All right, Gary, thanks. And we always say in these races, especially with 2-year-olds and a bunch of first-time starters, pay attention to the board. And right now the board is telling you this 5 filly can run. Derby Day Lassie, some flashy drills in the morning, 3-5 right now.
Saying she can't lose. Fastest horse in Arkansas, at least, Greg, as she is a daughter of double Irish, standing for $1,000. He has sired 0 first-time out 2-year-old winners. So she has that going against her, but she goes out for Alan Milligan, who consistently has productive winters in Arkansas, in Hot Springs. The Dam Broker Maiden, albeit on first. Now, this is her first full to run. The second dam, though, was a multiple stakes-winning Louisiana bred who also posted a 102 buyer in one of those victories. So a very quick type of filly. At least on the bottom side, there's pedigree to say, there's precocity and speed. There were some interesting pedigrees in here, though. You know, a long shot that I thought at 34-1 in here, Amazing Debate, is a full sister to Amazing Vision, who is a 7-time winner. Also half to Ministry, has gone 5 for 12 in her career with earnings of over $300,000.
Who was a stakes winner here.
Yeah,
Oaklawn,
a 2-time Arkansas bred stakes winner. So she at 34-1, and 2, that a lot of those siblings and the Dam, they won early in their careers. So maybe the 2-5 is incredibly meaningful, but I thought there were some other interesting pedigrees to speak of.
Well, there she is, the big favorite, the gray, daughter of, as you mentioned, double Irish, 0 for 12 with first-time 2-year-old starters. We'll see if that trend ends here.
She looks quick on the racetrack. This is 6 furlongs. She looks small and very compact. So you can see her going to the lead, but will there be enough left in the tank? Because she doesn't sport that long of a work tab either. I mean, she's only showing 5 works leading into this. As you are checking out the 10 in here, calm, classy, laid back, is wearing blinkers first time out, ridden by Calvin Burrell. But as far as other horses taking money, Ricardo Santana, he's aboard number 12, War Music, and here another daughter of double Irish, Tyrannical. The Dam, you know, she has produced Rolling Fork, who was a runner for Johnny Ortiz, who I remember running in those Arkansas bred races, obviously Shortleaf Stable, the owner breeder of this one. And
stakes placed here at Oaklawn as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, Rolling Fork.
So he did take a while to put it all together, though.
7-1, taking play from the outside here. Looks like a good chance for Double Irish to get that first 2-year-old winner here coming up. As we're set for post, I would want coverage in this race, but obviously this filly has shown ability by those bullet drills and by the attention she's taken on the board that she can run.
Well, how about the 3, Catch a Whiff, who goes out for probably the most productive sire in Golden Sense, who's good with his dirt sprinters. He is getting 11% as far as 2-year-old first-time starters. The Dam was good early. She was stakes placed as a Louisiana bred. All 4 foals have been winners. They've all been Louisiana breds, but again, they were all good dirt sprinters. Does go out for Jason Barkley. He'll send out 2 in here. Jason, though, not with the greatest of first-time starting 2-year-old dirt sprint numbers.
Feels like if you were playing this pick 5, it's one of those pick 5s, Jonathan Kinchin with Abrogate in here, Nashville coming up, that he would hit repeat, repeat, try and hit it 100 times or so. Feels like it could be very chalky. Sometimes you think that, and it's the complete opposite.
That's why they put him in the gate.
Derby Day Lassie, the 5. Odds-on favorite here. Alan Milligan, first time out. Martin Garcia will be aboard. And a bunch of inexperience in this field. The only one with a start under her belt, the Rail Durunda for Run Moquette, 63-1. First time out, beat by a filly who actually was second to Echo Zulu in Echo Zulu's debut at Saratoga. Big Stauffer with the call to kick off the pick 5.
Lightning Heart. Derby Day Lassie. Last to load, War Music. They're at the post. They're off. Derby Day Lassie right to the front from Lightning Heart in second. These 2 very fast. Gold Strategy is next, then Punchy Girl and War Music. Down at the rail, Wishin' and Hopin'. Amazing Debate is next. Gold Strategy is between horses, as is Valentine Angel. Then comes Duranda. Towards the back of the pack are Catch a Whiff, Wishin' and Hopin', and the trailer is Milligan, Mike and Me. Derby Day Lassie into the far turn from Lightning Heart in second. Derby Day Lassie a length and a half in front. Lightning Heart is second by 2.5 lengths to Valentine Angel and Gold Strategy. Amazing Debate is 5th with 6 lengths to make up. War Music and Catch a Whiff. Catch a Whiff is moving up nicely within 7 of the lead, held by Derby Day Lassie. Now Lightning Heart is angled to the inside. Derby Day Lassie leads by a length and a half. Lightning Heart is second. Catch a Whiff has moved up into third, then to the outside and Gold Strategy, but it's Derby Day Lassie now clear as 16th out, and now 4 lengths in front. Derby Day Lassie well in front. Here's Punchy Girl to run up and try to get second. Derby Day Lassie in front. Derby Day Lassie beat Punchy Girl by about 4. Lightning Heart was third. Close for 4th between Duranda and Catch a Whiff.
Tote Board told you the whole story here. She was ready to roll first time out. She is quick early on.
She is quick. You know, I don't know how much further beyond 6 furlongs she wants to go, but she did win well within hand here. Not asked for much. Nobody really making up too much ground on her, other than the 9 Punchy Girl for Jason Barkley, who did rally well from well back to grab place honors.
5, 9, 11, maybe the 3 for 4th. It was close, but no doubt about your winner. This one ready to roll in the debut. Martin Garcia, Alan Milligan team up for the victory at a very short price to kick off this late pick 5 here in Hot Springs. Prices for you when we come back. Kendrick Carmouche, we talked about his heartbreak. Still, it was an outstanding winter meet last year at Aqueduct. We're going to pick up where he left off with another successful winter coming up. Stay with us.
Run up the field in the Toyota Bluegrass to win it. The champ is back. Good Magic in a good-looking performance.
800,000, 75, 800, 75, 8.5.
Pete, 775,000. Thank you.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
Introducing Adelphi Racing Club, the horse racing syndicate offering more than just fractional ownership. Enjoy the thrill of an interactive thoroughbred ownership experience competing at the sport's highest level. Attend events where you'll interact with top trainers, industry professionals, and club members. We've cheered on winners from coast to coast at top tracks such as Santa Anita and Saratoga.
And it will be Exotic West.
Become part of a group that celebrates success together. Visit adelphiracing.com and join the club today.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
My favorite race is Cigar Mile 2020 True Timber. I know how much my horse loves the sloppy track. I got outside position, you got speed horses, and you the horse that can sit right behind them. Jack Stinson, he texted me that morning, Kendrick, what do you think? I said, don't worry about it, brother, I got you. My horse break good. I want to send him a little bit so I can let him relax a little bit going down the chute. Down the backside, I wasn't worried about the kickback. Even within the 16th of a mile at the gate, a couple dirt hit him, he didn't even mind. He just shake his head and he just kept running through it. At the 3/8 pole, I asked him and he moved up so sweet. I mean, he was right in my hand the whole time. And once I got to the 1/4 pole, I just pulled the trigger. You know, I figured if I pull the trigger, it's gonna be hard to beat me from here to make up the ground on a sealed racetrack. When I got to the 8 pole and I started asking him, I mean, you can feel the horse responding.
True Timber is going to pull off the upset here in the Grade 1 Cigar Mile.
For my mom, my dad, and my wife and my kids, I know how much it meant for them just as much as it meant for me, you know. The fist pump at the wire explains it all. And I'm saying to myself, man, I think this is a Grade 1.
Was this a Grade 1? Oh, this is my first Grade 1. Oh, we got out Grade 1, baby.
Coming from Louisiana to win one of these races, the Cigar Mile, and the African-American jockey, for myself, for my family, for the people that's out there that's seeing this and never thought it could be done. It can be done if you work hard.
So happy for Kendrick Carmouche in that moment. Talk about having to pay your dues, and he did. Parks Hall of Fame, long time coming to get that first Grade 1 win of his career. And that, me too, that's when he started to really make big inroads, I think bigger than he ever has here in New York, getting wins and riding for the likes of Todd Pletcher, among others, getting those kinds of opportunities.
Well, with those silks on, too, he took down the Wood Memorial with Bourbonic, and it was so funny, Kendrick coming back, and he's yelling at me and my husband's assistant, Axel, who we had True Timber in the barn for the week leading up to the race. Is this a Grade 1? I'm like, yes, Kendrick, of course it's a Grade 1. But it didn't dawn on me that it was his first, so it was just a really cool moment.
Here's Bustin' Chow. We're going to see Kendrick in a moment. He'll be on board South Africa, the 5. But here's Bustin' Chow, Trevor McCarthy.
I moves from turf to dirt. I thought a real interesting player here, Greg.
How aggressive is Eric Cancel with Sienna Magic?
This guy is very fast, but yet again, another layoff.
Two speeds right next door to each other. Here's the 3, Repo Rocks. He was dominant last out.
Stepping up from that starter allowance, he could project to sit the right kind of trip again. If he runs at 88, he's definitely a winner.
Sibelius, I thought he was interesting off the bench here for Jeremiah Dwyer.
Yeah, coming off 2 bad performances, though. Make that 3. If he can get back to his first 2 efforts, he's a player.
Here's Kendrick on South Africa.
Yeah, he's second off the bench, though. Michelle Nevin's horses, they do tend to need starts coming off layoffs.
Dylan Davis on Long Shot Fitzpatrick.
Shipping in from Finger Lakes, Minnesota bred, homebred for Wendy Lee Farm.
Did you say Minnesota?
Minnesota.
7-2 on risk profile. He was just second, beat 5 lengths to happy medium for Michelle Nevin.
This guy always shows up, and he's versatile in his running style.
Happy medium might be a star in the making. Here's
Correct.
Flatter Me, Please, the 8.
Yeah, coming in from out of town. Decent efforts for a trainer I'm not that familiar with. We'll see how he does here.
Send the Word, win came on synthetic.
Yeah, looks to have more synthetic turf pedigree too, though.
Big long shot here, 34-1.
Yeah, making his first start for Eduardo Jones. He's going to have to get a little faster.
And American Monarch, this horse was third in his dirt debut. It was a sloppy track off a 13-month layoff in that happy medium risk profile race.
So this is the first time he's on a fast track, Greg. What do we get? Because sometimes we see horses that prefer the turf. They will take to a sealed track a little bit better than an open, harrowed fast track. So we'll see what he does. But I thought that first race off that 13-month layoff, was pretty darn good. I mean, as you said, behind happy medium.
Yeah, who ran a 103 buyer in a win and then a 93 buyer in that race, winning on November 13th. Here's Repo Rocks. Not just the win, the margin of victory, the number he got. He did it so easily when he just kind of took off from the field right here at this point. He's just on cruise control right now. He'll go on to win by 8 1/4 lengths.
Yeah, and we'll see Ruben Silvera climb aboard for the first time today. His trainer Juan Vasquez looking for his third win on this card. He's a horse that when he puts it all together, he's very good. It's just getting him to put it all together. But with that being said, Greg, again, he looks to get the right trip in here. I mean, he's just outside those 2 speed horses drawn on the rail that we were talking about. And I like the warm-up that Ruben's giving him here. He's not going to let him get too outpaced or outfooted early. So he's a legitimate player. He's currently 4-1. It's just a problem of, I think he gets a little bit more of a class test here. I mean, the horse that has beaten him in the past risk profile is present. It just feels as though that performance was exaggerated by the fact that he wasn't meeting quite as good company as what he does here.
4-1 right now on this 3-year-old son of Tapestry. Can he back up what he did last time out? If he can, everyone else might be in trouble in this race. 4-1. Let's bring back in JK on how to play this race.
Yeah, look, if Repo Rocks, on some speed figures, his last race was blazing fast. And even the race 3 back, since switching to Juan Vasquez, was on the dirt, was blazing fast. If he runs one of those numbers, he could be in trouble. Now, Timeform US, which I know Maggie will take a look at. I know Andy does. Wolfie, I know you like to look at those Da Vinci Code numbers. But the race wasn't particularly fast on Timeform US. So I'm very interested to see what happens. And to be fair, if the race was as fast as I've seen other figures suggest that it is, he's a little bit cold on the board. So I know I'm not helping you very much, but you have to decide whether you believe the fast number or the slow number. If you believe that it's fast, Repo Rocks is a great opportunity right now on the board.
He's become the favorite at 3-1 right now. JK, thanks. We'll find out if he can try and back it up. Here's Bust and Shout, meanwhile, from the inside. The pace early in this race is going to be very interesting because this horse and next horse, Sienna Magic, they are quick. Who gets the lead? And also, Kendrick on South Africa, not particularly slow.
No, you're right. The debate is, can Bust and Shout win without the lead? Is he that kind of horse that can do that? Because his races, going back to last year, a year ago, well, figures-wise, they make him a legitimate player. He just doesn't quite get the job done when he can't control. Now, he was beaten last time out by Scuttlebuzz, who has just turned into a monster of a turf sprinter, winning his next start fairly back-to-back in quick fashion, coming back with a 95. But Bust and Shout, some of his better races have come on the dirt. It felt as though Bruce Levine was kind of using that race to get a race into him, as, I mean, this was a 10-month layoff he was coming back off in it, into the races with. Now, he does wear a hood there. He always has that on. It's kept him so much more relaxed, and I think it has added to his improved form now as a 5-year-old. So I think he's a serious player in here. I just don't know what kind of trip he pulls from the inside. He's good enough to win. It's just dynamics.
Trevor McCarthy, his pilot, since he's returned here to New York, he has made an immediate impact, too. 6-1 here.
He has. I love Trevor. He works so hard. He's now represented by Joe Migliore, son of our very own Richard Migliore, doing his thing. They are out there every morning. Trevor getting on so many horses and about to become a father, too.
How about that?
I know. So
Congrats.
wishing he and Katie the best of luck as they are approaching the due date.
There's Sibelius stepping in. Broke his maiden at Keeneland in a maiden special weight with a number that would probably win here in just the second start of his career. He's been yet to reproduce that since. See if a little time off helped him. We're set for the 7th. Let's go upstairs. John Imbrial with the call.
American Monarch. Set for the start of race 7 here at Aqueduct. And they're off. American Monarch broke well from the extreme outside. Bust and Shout down at the rail. Now Sibelius is hustled up to grab the lead, and Sienna Magic has moved into second. Bust and Shout down at the rail in third. American Monarch on the outside is now in fourth. Repo Rocks was off a step slow, has moved up into fifth position. Then comes Flatter Me Please next in sixth, followed by Fitzpatrick in seventh. Send the Word. Extreme Outside in eighth, followed by South Africa in ninth. The two trailers are Risk Profile and Anything Passable. The quarter 22 and 1/5 seconds as they go into the far turn. It is Sienna Magic on the inside and Sibelius on the outside. Sibelius with a head in front. Sienna Magic down at the rail. Then American Monarch. Repo Rocks will need a way through here. Repo Rocks is in fourth, but just a couple of lengths from the lead. Then comes Flatter Me Please in fifth, followed by Send the Word. Fitzpatrick down at the rail is Bust and Shout. The field is in the stretch. The half one in 45 and 3. It is Sibelius challenged here by American Monarch. Repo Rocks now moves to the extreme outside for the final eighth of a mile. It is American Monarch with the lead. Repo Rocks is coming on now on the outside. It's American Monarch and Repo Rocks. The two of them fight it to the finish with Repo Rocks winning it. American Monarch was second. It's a photo for third.
Repo Rocks, much the best here in this 7th. Waited, let a horse go by, and then runs that one down.
He's a funny horse. He, despite his last race, he kind of likes being in trouble. He kind of likes thinking that he's running off and going to run up in the on the heels of horses. I was like, what is Ruben Silvera doing? And then he was just waiting because he is a horse that, you know, if the competition's good, he'll wait on them a little bit. So a really good ride here. Juan Vasquez doing a great job with Repo Rocks, getting the A other than win. And American Monarch, I think he's okay
Ran
on the
big,
dirt.
yeah.
Craig, he was the one to make the first move, too.
Going to see him, I would think, continue on the dirt after this performance. This is his first try, as mentioned, on a fast dirt this afternoon for this 11 horse. And, you know, Repo Rocks, maybe a horse, too, that's just definitely more comfortable being outside.
Oh, totally. Well, no, I don't know. He's just a strange horse. Obviously, we had him in the barn. He likes to think he's getting in trouble. He's one of those horses.
Put his mind on business once American Monarch went by and able to run that one down. He liked the target in the stretch today.
Right. He does like a target.
5-2, and he went off as your favorite.
The money right, 7-2 over American Monarch. Sibelius showed up today, and I thought Raul Mena giving him the best opportunity. Really aggressive from the start. He came back, and, you know, when he ran his best race was when he was on the lead. So Raul doesn't get that many opportunities, but I've liked what I've seen from this rider as he has moved his tack here for the winter from the Mid-Atlantic.
Repo Rocks the win, 3, 11, 4, and 6, 17 and 32 to 1 in third and fourth. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back together again, Steve Asmussen, North America's winningest trainer, and the 8-time reigning leading jockey, Ricardo Santana Jr. They'll team up next with Abrogate when we return.
Spun to run. In the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, he defeated a loaded field that included multiple Grade 1 winners Omaha Beach and Improbable. His brilliant speed figures were among the fastest of any 3-year-old at a mile or more. And he hails from the legendary Danzig sire line. Multiple graded stakes winner, millionaire, Breeders' Cup champion, Spun to Run, standing at Gainesway.
We are back on America's Day at the Races on FS2. Good to have you with us on this Friday afternoon here in South Ozone Park. Don't you dare mispronounce this horse's name. They used to be in Tom Morley's barn, not with Maggie on the set. It's Repo Rocks.
No, just don't do that with Lee Einseidler around. Obviously, the creator and owner of Casa Amigos, named for the tequila reposado. So Repo Rocks, Repo on the rocks.
Ruben Silveira, Juan Vasquez waited, switches out here, and is going to run down American Monarch, who ran a very good race, but this horse is just in top form right now.
Yeah, he is. And Juan Vasquez getting his 3rd win on the card.
Goes off as your favorite. $7.20 for the win. A couple of big prices, as mentioned, in 3rd and 4th trifecta, $286 with the logical 1-2 finishers. Super effective, $527 for 10 cents. Wow. Take a look at the late pick 5 follow along. Papa Smooth began it back in race 4, always charming. I can't believe that horse went off at 5-1.
You know, lower profile connections, but so happy for my man, Cleveland Johnson, a.k.a. V. Love V. He's been around my entire life, whether it was in Maryland or here in New York. Good to see him having some success here in New York.
And that was one of a couple of wins for Jelon Samuel this afternoon,
Yes.
too. Back at Oaklawn race 6. Part of the late pick 4. Allowance race here for 3-year-old fillies. $100,000 purse. 6 furlong sprint coming up. And Abrogate, Steve Asmus and Ricardo Santana Jr. They team up together again here. We start with Northern Diamond, speed on the inside.
Yeah, I thought she ran well, dueling the whole way around there where the winner got the perfect trip. She will look to control here once again from that inside post.
More pace next door. Takada put together 3 in a row earlier this year.
As Takada, we're getting a good look at Northern Diamond, but Takada for Joe Sharp, you know, she didn't break that well last time. She kind of rushed up, but the horse that she did duel with, Razor Glass, did actually win that race. So we'll see. She's kind of heading possibly in the wrong direction.
Here's Abrogate. She was a stakes winner at this track earlier this year in April.
Did only beat 4 other rivals. The horse that finished 3rd came back. Did win, but only with a 64.
Heart Full of Soul for McLean Robertson.
Yeah, maybe she sits the right kind of trip. Tactical Speed is stepping back up in class. We'll have to find a race she has not run to date.
Tom Amos filly taking money. She's coming out of a tough race, and she dominated that group at Churchill.
Her first start against older company. She was a lone 3-year-old. She did get the right kind of pace set up to close into, but I thought she ran really well coming off a bit of a freshening.
And graded stakes place filly on the outside at 23-1. She was actually second in the grade 3 Dogwood at Churchill.
Her last 2 have not been good, but maybe it was a sloppy track last time, and maybe she just faced better 2 back in the Raven Run. There's some excuses you could give. Someone said so.
6th coming up, starts the late pick 4. Let's head back to our Hall of Famer, Gary Stevens.
Yeah, Greg, and I got to tell you, Abrogate, she's a standout as far as looks, appearance goes out on the racetrack. Got these massive hindquarters, moving great out here on the racetrack, nice and relaxed, and great coat on her. The one thing about Abrogate, there's other speed in this race, down in one hole, as you mentioned, and this filly, the 2 times that she's been outrun leaving the starting gate, hasn't been on or close to the lead. She hasn't run well. Maybe she had other excuses, but in her previous race, her very last race, she was down on the inside. She had company outside of her and fought just a really tough, hard race to go on and win by a length and a quarter that day. But I can see a pace set up for Little Tootsie, Tom Amos's filly down out in the 5-hole. If Northern Diamond comes away from there, I actually think Northern Diamond is quicker away from the blocks than probably Abrogate is. The benefit that Abrogate has is she's going to be able to lay off the horse on the outside instead of being inside and intimidated. But if we get a 21 and change first quarter of a mile, it's going to definitely set up for Little Tootsie. And as you mentioned, 25-1 on the long shot down on the bottom. Someone said so. She is a graded winner. She looks good out on the racetrack, so if you want to throw a long shot in there, that's one to add to your ticket, guys.
Yeah, maybe to at least get a piece of it underneath, as Gary mentioned there, with that 6 at 26-1 there. Someone said so, but here is Abrogate. And we'll take a look at her in action. She could sit a real nice trip here with this speed, maybe just off your leaders in here. This was in the slop at Churchill and a win off the layoff.
Yeah, it was impressive for the fact, Greg. It was coming in off of the bench. It was an effort where she dueled the entire way, but ultimately, I think she was just better than these. But then again, maybe it's a race that propels her forward. Maybe she's come back as a better horse now that she's a late 3-year-old. And I remember seeing her last year. It was either for the Dixie Belle or the Purple Martin Stakes when I was out there. She is a big, impressive girl. And so good to hear Gary saying that she's a standout on the track once again.
And that was off a 6-month layoff. So, yeah, if she can move forward off that, she could be dangerous. Here's another one coming off a short layoff, Lil Tootsie, and now the favorite in those Silks of Serengeti Empress for Joel Politti, Lil Tootsie. With more, let's go to Jonathan.
Look, I'm going to pick Abrogate, the 3, but I'm going to talk a lot about the 5, Lil Tootsie. Right, with Abrogate, I like what you said, Wolfie. Coming in off the layoff, you'd like to think she'll take another step forward. She's got fast pace figures. I don't love the fact that she's inside of her main competition, but it is what it is. I think she's probably best. But I do want to point something out that might help out later from a handicapping standpoint with the 5, Lil Tootsie. And if you want to be contrarian, there's not too much contrarian about, 2 horses that are even money. The 5, Lil Tootsie ran extremely well last time. If you look through her past performances, when she has Lasix, not going down that path, a diuretic that's used to help horses with pulmonary hemorrhaging. When she has Lasix, she runs much better. And the races that she does not run well, she does not have Lasix. She's very inconsistent, and I think she's got a real horse that she's going to run into today with the 3 Abrogate, but I do think you could keep that in mind. If she was 4-1, I might push you along to take Lil Tootsie, who's going to have Lasix today. But her being the same price, give me the filly and the 3 Abrogate in that situation.
We will find out. The public right now leaning slightly to Lil Tootsie. Both these two seem like Abrogate and Lil Tootsie, like they took a big move forward last time out. We'll see who continues that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see here, Greg. I think that Lil Tootsie comes out of the better race as far as quality of foes faced. Neither of them come out of big fields, but Lil Tootsie, she was facing those older horses for the first time where Abrogate was in a restricted 3-year-old race. As I mentioned, Shelby came out of that race, did not. Well, she won. She did not run a particularly fast figure. She ran a 64, taking a step back on the buyer speed scale. And Jonathan made great points about Lil Tootsie in that maybe she does need the Lasix. She does have it here once again. And I just think there is enough speed in here to keep Abrogate honest, where Lil Tootsie could get the right setup.
Even money still on Lil Tootsie. She dipped down to odds on for a moment. Let's take a look at the Leeds meeting trainers from last year. And Steve Asmussen, once again, topped the list with 60 victories in Hot Springs.
Yes, 16 better than Robertino Diodoro. It was like he's not letting Robertino beat him again as he did the year before. Steve has taken it 2 of the last 3 years and projecting to possibly do that once again this time around with a longer meet.
This has become, and it happened, a lot of it was from COVID. We had horses coming in everywhere to that meet, but it has become just so much more competitive the last few years.
So competitive. Their purses are amazing. I mean, look at their road to the Kentucky Derby. It kicks off with the Southwest for $750,000, and then we have the Rebel for $1 million, and then the Arkansas Derby for $1.25 million. So they are really trying to attract the best of the best, and they are getting it. You know, they kind of have to, because to be a premier meet during the winter, you almost have to have a turf course, which they do not. So therefore, they've really boosted their purses, so therefore they attract the best dirt horses.
4-5, 6-5. There is Abrogate. She went against Obligatory in that 8 Bells. That's also a race that Lil Tootsie was in. She didn't fire on that occasion. But JK does seem like he's onto something. That definitely her better races for Lil Tootsie. She has been on Lasix in here, and she is, you would think, no doubt, that's going to set up perfectly for her. Speed with a 1, speed with a 2. Abrogate going to sit probably just off those 2 as well. We'll see if Asmussen, Santana can team up for the victory. She is moving in. Daughter of Outwork. We are set for the 6th. Vic Stauffer with the call.
They're at the post. They're off. Heart Full of Soul and Toccata with Abrogate between horses and Northern Diamond at the rail. Someone said so, and the early trailer is Lil Tootsie. Toccata and Abrogate 1-2 up the backstretch. Toccata leads. Now Northern Diamond going to move through and challenge, and here's Northern Diamond within ahead of the lead. Abrogate will sit third now, and 2 from those dueling front runners. 2 lengths 2. Someone said go. Lil Tootsie has moved up the rail, and between horses Heart Full of Soul, they leave the backstretch even. They are Toccata and Northern Diamond. Toccata now back in front by a neck from Northern Diamond in second. Abrogate is moving up, could get into second soon. She's on the move and within a length and a half of the lead. Lil Tootsie is advanced up into fourth and splitting horses. Here's Lil Tootsie with a good chance. Top of the stretch, Toccata has the lead. Lil Tootsie moves through nicely at the rail. Abrogate to the outside. These 3 to the final furlong, and Lil Tootsie has taken the lead. She's now a length and a half in front of Abrogate and Toccata second and third. Lil Tootsie, Abrogate from last to first to Lil Tootsie to win. Lil Tootsie won by 2 3/4. Abrogate was second, Toccata third. Close for fourth between Heart Full of Stars and Northern Diamond.
Lil Tootsie, Joel Politti, Tom Amos, they got another nice one here. And this was settled, but you picked this up down the stretch, this move here from Florent Giroux.
It was a really good ride by Florent. We saw things developing as we suspected with the pace, where Abrogate, she stayed towards the outside. Understandable, she's a big filly, keep her face clean. Lil Tootsie was able to sneak up the rail with Florent Giroux, split horses turning for home, and then just gradually drifted out just to kick a little dirt in Abrogate's face if she thought about coming on late to her. But a really nice performance by this young 3-year-old filly, daughter of Tapiture, for our good friend and colleague, Tom Amos. It seems as though she's got her groove back.
She has come back better than ever. Now back-to-back victories at Churchill and now at Oaklawn. We've got the finale coming up next from the Big A. Going to close out the card in New York with a 1-turn mile New York-bred maiden claiming race. And that's our current favorite. We'll be back with a post-parade right after this.
The breeding industry is governed by one principle. Performance determines success.
And Constitution has won!
Now, he's earning his stripes by siring stars.
Independence Hall wins the Hagyard Bayette.
American Revolution charging up on the outside. Fireworks in the stretch here in the Cigar Mile. American Revolution has won.
Constitution, a natural-born leader.
You don't have to be a multi-millionaire to get into this game. You can have a few $1,000s and have fun with it. But with the bonds, you're actually going to win. I've had the opportunity to win multiple races. In fact, this year I won 2 times in one day, which is almost unheard of to be able to do. This is going to happen with them. You will get into the winner's circle in Saratoga. You will walk that horse in, and you will stand there, look at the crowd, and the bonds will take you there and get you into that winner's circle. And it won't cost you a lot of money.
Smile Happy was a TDN rising star following his maiden win at Keeneland. From there, he captured the Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes to remain undefeated and earning points toward the Kentucky Derby. In Future Pool 1, Smile Happy was individual leader by lowest odds. Among the top of his crop by stakes winners and earnings, Run Happy continues his rise and is priced for success. Call today and book your mare to Red Hot Sire Run Happy, standing in legendary Stall 1 at Claiborne Farm.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
Hello, I'm Larray Visargi. Welcome to Rock Ridge Stud. This is a 200-acre farm in the Hudson Valley and near the town of Hudson. This is part of the Hudson Valley, so from this farm you can see that's Catskill Mountains, like Bell's Pond is part of the farm as well. This farm is very historic. It's been part of the Livingston estate. On this farm, many great horses were raised. In 2013, we've had multiple stakes horses raised off of this farm. Make a line and then we'll cut them out one by one, okay? I have actually gotten mares from across the country as far as California to breed to our stallions here. So we get them from all over the country to stay and breed with us. I think this place sets us apart from everybody else because we are very much hands-on. We take care of all their paperwork. We take care of their breeding. If they go to Kentucky or stay in New York, we basically accommodate all their needs. Eofric, he's a very well-bred horse. He's well supported with the syndicate. He's a very fertile horse and a very good head. This horse is what New York needs, a fresh horse that can stand in Kentucky or in New York with a built-in support that will take this horse very far. Farming is definitely, it's not for everybody, but there's a benefit in doing that.
You can find out more information on the New York Thoroughbred Breeding and Development Fund by going to nybreds.com. Nightcap coming up here in New York. Again, a one-turn mile for New York Bred Company, maiden claiming race. And the favorite, we showed him to you as we went to break El Mayor for Juan Vasquez, Javier Castellano. Blinkers go on as they come out onto the track, but a modest favorite at 7-2. We kick things off with a 2, Oliver's Fortune.
Oliver's Fortune will be stretching back out in distance, but does drop back in, I should say, for the 25 for Ralph D'Alessandro.
Lowest level Uncle Jerome has ever been at.
I thought he was pretty interesting. You know, he was getting out badly in the first turn, but the blinkers coming off today. He's been a big price, though, in all 4 of his efforts thus far.
Sonic Speed hasn't really shown that so far.
I know, a horse that has won maybe 2 races that make him a major player here, but where are they?
Blinkers on, Wicked Karma.
Yeah, Wicked Karma could be the speed of the speed, switching back to the dirt.
Turf to dirt on Bohemian Ruby as well.
Yeah, I thought he was a bit interesting. I never thought he was a turf horse, so I like him in this spot coming off his best effort.
Here's Kendrick again. Go Johnny Go was green as could be in the stretch last start.
Cheek pieces on. We'll see if they have any relevance to the way he runs today.
Bail at the bank. Start number 2 drops down, and here's the current favorite.
El Mayor. Speaking of blinkers going on, looks like a cheater cut blinker on this guy, who should be forward once again.
Prince of Joy, 67-1.
Prince of Joy, I don't know. Does he bring much joy?
Hard to endorse with the 3-4 starts on dirt. Has shown very little. And then Flincher's Rock, blinkers on outside.
Yeah, Flincher's Rock is switching to the main track, though this is an entirely turf pedigree, as finally we do get to see number 1. Yeah, huh?
You say that all the time as a kid.
Yeah, did you? Yeah, huh?
So annoying. 21-1 here, blinkers on.
Yeah, I thought I gave him a little look last time. He was disappointing, though. Christian Ramos, the 5-pound apprentice rider, will be back on his race 2 back. I thought was good. He's going to stretch out here. Does he get to be more forwardly placed?
Had a race 2 against Maiden Special at Finger Lakes back as a 3-year-old when he hit the board at a big price.
I know he gets me in these warm-ups. I like what I see from him for Wayne Potts, and then he just kind of disappoints. But he's a big price right now at 21-1.
Well, 7 made a nice appearance, too. Go, Johnny, go.
He's so good looking, but Greg, he's about to be a 6-year-old making only his 3rd career start. Now, Kendrick, as he is stretching out, which I do like for him because Kendrick wanted him to have more speed, and he just seemed to be kind of after him the whole way. I remember watching, and Kendrick looked as though he was ready for him to want to lug in down the stretch because about 1/8 of a mile out of the gate, he switched his crop to his left hand, trying to be prepared for that propensity to want to lug in. So cheek pieces going on. Cheek pieces are those big, fluffy pieces affixed to the sides of the horse's head stall of their bridle, and just they act like shortcut cheater blinkers. So Tony Dutcher, though, just having a great year, and this guy wired last time by the slightly improbable Taco Bean.
60-1, who got loose in that race. 2 minutes to post here in this finale at Aqueduct. Meanwhile, back at Oaklawn, Tom Amos has a filly going in the right direction right now in the silks of Joel Paletti of Serengeti Empress fame. This daughter at Tapiture's put together back-to-back wins. This might have been more impressive than her last start.
I thought it was very good. And a great ride by Florent Giroux as well, just patiently waiting, riding the rails, saw the seam, and was able to kind of cleverly not intimidate Abrogate, but just make sure she stayed where she was in second. She's a promising filly, and Joel Politti, you can't meet a nicer guy. I kind of got to know him a little bit more up at Saratoga this year, and just a really thoughtful guy, and, you know, I'd like to see him do well.
He's having some good success in this sport. When we're back to New York, there is the 8, Go Johnny Go. Sorry, Bail Out the Bank, 6-1 here. Start number 2, dropping from 40 to 25 with more. Let's go to JK.
You did that on accident, Wolfie, because, you know, the Go Johnny Go thing, you were excited. You were thinking Johnny, Jonathan. I love you too, buddy. I like the 8 a little bit here from a price standpoint. Look, this is a horse that took a little bit of money on debut for Linda Rice. Was entered a few times prior to that. Didn't do much running, but is catching a little bit of money on the board. And the horses that have run, I don't necessarily trust. The 7, the horse that makes Wolfie think of me, Go Johnny Go. It's a horse that took money on last time out, was 3-1, but didn't run very well for maiden 25. And you look through these horses, and there's just Bohemian Ruby's not one that gets you overly excited. Give me a horse that's only run once, who took a little bit of money, and I'm just hoping, the horse can improve a little bit second time out. A little bit of a whim here, but what else are you going to do in these closers at Aqueduct going claiming 25?
It's that kind of race. You're just hoping there's improvement from some of these runners, dropping to a lower level. In the case of the 8, lightly raced and facing a little bit easier, and from a good barn.
He looks physically like a big galloping giraffe. He does look how huge.
Does not sound complimentary.
I mean, but at this level, he drops down. He gets a little more ground to cover. He kind of looked like a big galloping giraffe. You know what big galloping giraffe was? I think it was Todd Pletcher's 3,000th or Johnny's. It was like 1,000th. It was a Rapoli horse. It was one of Todd Pletcher, I believe's milestone wins. But I think this guy benefits from the start. He was super green in that debut. Just kind of seemed lost the entire way. I like Jose Lezcano climbing aboard. A little bit more of an aggressive rider, trying to get him engaged. We saw, too, heading back to the gate. And a little bit more ground to play with. A fast track today. He makes a lot of sense. And as JK pointed out, you are getting a decent price on him at 5-1. It's just classic Linda Rice second time out.
Nightcap here. Difficult race to close it out. Little chaos would not be out of the question in this field with the lack of form. 5-2. Public has made this 9. El Mayor, this class dropper from 40 to 25. The big favorite here. Sure, is when in open maiden special weights, first couple of starts of his career. Blinkers on today. Let's go upstairs. John Imbrial with the call.
They're all in the gate. And they're off. El Mayor was away well. Now Bail Out the Bank moves up. On the outside, it is Flincher's Rock with Prince of Joy. Then towards the inside, Oliver's Fortune races in 5th. Go Johnny Go is next in 6th. In between horses, Wicked Karma runs in 7th. Yaha is next in 8th, followed by Uncle Jerome in 9th. Then it's Bohemian Ruby, and the trailer is Sonic Speed in 11th. Bail Out the Bank is the leader here as they move up the backstretch through a quarter in 23 and 2. El Mayor on the outside in second by a neck. Oliver's Fortune down on the inside runs in 3rd. On the outside is Flincher's Rock in 4th, 2.5 lengths from the lead. Then comes Go Johnny Go, who's next in 5th. Bohemian Ruby is next in 6th, followed on the outside by Prince of Joy as Sonic Speed makes a move now on the extreme outside. Sonic Speed was last just a few moments ago and has now moved up on the outside into 3rd as El Mayor now takes over the lead from Bail Out the Bank. Sonic Speed in 3rd. Then comes Bohemian Ruby. Down on the inside is Go Johnny Go. El Mayor has built a 3.5 length lead. Sonic Speed asks for more in 2nd. Then comes Bail Out the Bank and Bohemian Ruby. The field is in the stretch. 3/4, 1-1, 13-1. And it is El Mayor with a 7 length lead. Then Bohemian Ruby, Oliver's Fortune is on the outside. El Mayor with a commanding lead and a 16th to the finish. It is El Mayor in front, and this is going to cap an unbelievable Friday for trainer Juan Vasquez. A 4-win Friday for trainer Vasquez. El Mayor the winner, then Oliver's Fortune and Bohemian Ruby.
El Mayor winds up going off as the pretty solid 5-2 favorite and easy time with this field.
Yeah, you could tell down the backside, Javier Castellano had his feet in the dashboard. It's El Mayor with the blinkers on, just dragging him toward the lead. Showed that improved speed last time out, going the 7 furlongs. Got the extra furlong today with aplomb.
No one making up any ground late in this race. Get some numbers underneath, at least. This 2-horse, 14-1.
Yeah, Ralph D'Alessandro, again, bringing his horses down from Finger Lakes. He always makes some noise here during the winter. I appreciate the job he does.
And Yaha, 28-1,
My
completing
man.
the superfecta.
Yaha! Bohemian Ruby obviously settling for 3rd there. You know, Javier Castellano, part of a big day too. So definitely no doubt about your winner. 5-2 favorite, Greg.
We're going to take a timeout. We're going to talk the coach. Dwayne Lukas looking for his first win of the season in Hot Springs. When we come back with Optimus Cat making the move from turf to dirt. When we return, stay with us.
A Grade 1 winner of nearly $2 million, Silver State hails from the sire line of legendary Claiborne stallion Danzig. And his second dam is full sister to Kentucky Derby winner Monarchos. After winning the Oaklawn Handicap, Silver State defeated Knicks Go in the Grade 1 Metropolitan Handicap. On the board in 12 of 14 starts from ages 2 to 4, his career included a 6-race winning streak. Grade 1 winner Silver State, standing at Claiborne Farm.
We're back on America's Day at the Races on FS2. Good to have you with us. Program brought to you in part by the champion sprinter Run Happy. Never lost in his career while sprinting. Did it all while racing medication-free nightcap in New York. Pretty productive afternoon for that man there. The 4 straight Eclipse Award wins for Javier Castellano when he was rolling back in the day. Teams up with Juan Vasquez here, Off the Hook Racing. And this one dropping to the lowest level he had ever run at before. and he gets the win. We have a pick 6 carryover heading into Saturday.
You know, we saw Javier Castellano kind of lose his way, so to speak, a little bit over the last few years, kind of has switched agents back and forth, but it seems as though now, since he's teamed up with PJ Campo, that things are going well for Javier, and I like the fact that he's staying here during the winter, knowing that the purses are good. Yeah, he's going to have to be a little chilly, but I think it's the right move and an opportunity to stay with barns that are successful and to possibly pick up some new horse flesh.
Winds help warm you up in the
this
cold.
This is so true.
7th at Oaklawn, approaching the 5-minute mark to post. This one a 40,000 starter allowance. 2-turn mile coming up. 9-5 favored leading west for one of the best claiming trainers in our sport, Robertino Diodoro, second off the claim. Let's start with Pat's Property, big long shot.
Yeah, this one will go from the ever dangerous Brad Cox barn into some lower profile connections. Sean Heron picks up this one off the layoff.
Win came on synthetic. Here's leading west for Diodoro.
Yet leading west 9-5. First race, though, for the barn, not great. Did come over a sloppy track back at Churchill.
Outlier, 5-1. Norm Cash just claimed this one.
Looks to be the speed in here, right, Greg? He'll look to control, though. I couldn't find any really telling stats about Norm Cash and stretching horses off the claim. He doesn't do it often.
6-1 next door on a horse who was very dominant at Hawthorne. Ran an 89 Buyer and a win, won by 7+ lengths.
And the second, third, and fourth finishers did come back to win, but 2 of those on the turf.
Here is JVB.
Only win.
For Thomas Van Berg.
Yeah, I like that. Like what they did there.
Jack Van Berg.
Yeah, this 5-year-old son of Datalink only has 1 win, and it came over the synthetic.
Steve Asmussen claimed this horse for himself. He's not busy enough to claim a horse for 30 maiden claiming?
Yeah, at first after the claim, won the last start, claiming to allowance. He's 6 for 25, so he does have success with this type of move.
And the coach, Dwayne Lukas, Optimus Cat, moving from turf to dirt.
Question is, did he get better in the latter half of his 3-year-old year, or is he just a better turf horse?
Yeah, and 6-1 outside Tango Charlie, more pace.
Yeah, talking about pace, this looks to be the speed of the speed, though Randy Morris not good with his first route. Excluding first-time starters on the dirt, he's only 1 for 39.
4 minutes away from the 7th coming up here at Oaklawn. Let's send it out to Gary. Gary, we got the coach here with Optimus Cat in a race. Talk about what your relationship was like on a trainer you won a couple of Kentucky Derbies with.
Well, it changed over the years, Greg, from just super excited to be riding for a Hall of Famer who really changed our game over the years. But listen, there's a reason they call him coach. He was a high school basketball coach, and he's a motivator. And whenever you would go out and ride for Wayne Lukas, when I first started riding for him, it was very simple. You better be focused. You better be paying attention. Pretty much he's going to give you the same instructions on every one, and that is he wants them forwardly placed. He wants them in the race. Be involved. And he told me one day, he says, don't worry about tiring this horse out. He says, I'll wake it up in the morning. He said, you just ride it. And you could leave the paddock on a horse that you really on paper didn't think that you had a good chance. And this was right up to the end of my career. He had you thinking there was no way you could get beat by the time you walked out of the paddock. And you felt like if the horse got beat, the only reason it got beat is because I made a mistake. And he does that with everybody. And our relationship evolved over the years. He trusted me a lot. I had all the trust in the world in him. And he would pretty much leave things to how he knew that I read a race the same way as he reads a race. I knew what he wanted, but listen, he helps a lot of young riders, and he's riding a very talented mid-aged rider in Luis Contreras right here. Does very, very well up in Canada during the summertime, one of their top riders up at Woodbine. And I know he's got a lot of confidence in Wayne, and Wayne has a lot of confidence in him, but he just strives to make you have confidence in the horses that you're riding for Wayne Lukas. So good luck, Coach. Hope you win this race, buddy.
Mentioned those derbies. Also, it shocked everybody when Gary went to the front. Oxbow stole the Preakness 2013.
With those silks right there to boot, with the Calumet Farm silks on. As Gary was mentioning, we do see Luis Contreras. He's kind of scraping some of the sweat off of Optimus Cat's neck there. I will say, a lot of times I see the coaches' horses, they do tend to be a little higher strung individuals. They do tend to get a little bit warm, and as Gary pointed out, it's a warm day out there in Arkansas, so not too concerned about that. But it's just the surface. Yes, Optimus Cat, 1 win, did come on the dirt, but it was a maiden 30. He was even money that day. I think he faces some better company here getting back to the main track.
Meanwhile, if you're running in for 30 maiden claiming and the winningest trainer in North American history decides, I want you in my barn, that's got to be a good sign, right, Jonathan?
Not only do I want you in my barn, but I'm going to spend my money to put you in my barn. Like you mentioned, he is the owner as well. This is a horse I've actually followed. Some friends of mine bought this horse for $9,000. Matt Miller, Jake Ballas bought the horse. It's never really panned out, but the horse always had kind of shown little hints of talent. That's kind of what happens in this game. They have issues, they have injuries, they have this, they have that, the other. Just never really fully could put it all together. He did last time. He put it all together, and like you mentioned, the winningest trainer in North America decided, hey, I'm going to pick this horse up. And not only did he claim the horse for 30, he's protecting his money. This horse is not in for a tag. This is a starter allowance race. The horse shows up in here protected. Steve has horses everywhere in the world. Not really, but in the U.S. He could drop this horse for 20 somewhere. He could drop the horse for 10 somewhere. The horse wasn't doing well or wasn't a horse that he wanted to keep involved with. But he decided he wanted to run this horse protected. I just think the horse is interesting at 12-1, but hey, what do you know? Maybe I know too much.
It's just interesting. And you look, who did this horse face first time out? He went against Nashville, that superstar sprinter who we're going to see coming up in the feature later.
I think this horse, for all the reasons JK brought up, like I said, Steve has good stats with this first off the claim, protecting them, won their last start. He's going to have to get faster. I mean, let's face it, it'll probably take, a low to mid 80 buyer speed figure to win this race. But he is a horse that the confidence, and it's so true. When a trainer owns their own horses, they can do whatever they want, basically. It's if they need to, I don't want to say get out on the horse, but if they need to find the right spot so they can collect a winning purse, then fine. But the fact that Steve says, I want to keep this horse in my barn and continue to pay bills on him speaks a lot.
Going back to what Gary said, when Dwayne Lukas used to motivate you and thought you couldn't lose, Steve Asmussen wants you in his barn. This horse probably now has a ton of confidence. We'll find out. He's right now 11-1 on the board. Meanwhile, the 5 Outlier, 3-1. This horse stretching out. Talked about Norm Cash off the claim now and stretching this one out, but a 5-time winner. Horse has already won at this racetrack and should be forward.
Does it feel like we might see some hitting up front here, Greg, with him, with Tango Charlie as well? Yes, Outlier, he's drawn more towards the inside. Here is his race, his last race, I should say. With the win, it was November 25th at Churchill. It seemed as though, even though this was a very sloppy track, it seemed like that last kind of closing week there, you wanted to make these big, wide moves. It seems like that was the win, the way that everyone was winning races. He was a favorite that day. I have some question marks with this horse. I just don't know how he's going to pull the right trip with the presence of the outside runner in Tango Charlie. I don't think he gets a waltz on the front end.
And the big kind of question mark in this race is the presence of the 6, prioritization. Is that Hawthorne race for real? Is it going to translate here to Oaklawn?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that's a hard no. Because an 89, that wins, right? But the fact that, yes, it does seem like a live race as far as horses coming back and winning. New York Surprise came back and won on the turf with a 76. Opus Equus came back and won with a 66 on the dirt. The 4th place finisher came back and won with a 71, but on the turf. So, in 2, he got to do things again, a horse that got to do things on the front end.
Won't be the case today. Yeah.
Won't be the case. But Scott Becker, he's a high percentage winning trainer, so he seems to know, and high percentage winning trainers are that typically because they know where to spot their horses. So the fact that he does come in here to Oaklawn, one of the premier dirt meets of this time of year, and puts a horse in the allowance race, he seems to think he fits.
There's some horses with decent pedigrees in there. Prioritization of the 6, $350,000 son of Quality Road. Next door, Outlier, who we talked about, the 5, $375,000 son of Not This Time.
No, there totally is. And a horse that Outlier, sometimes in these A other thans, I tend to have a little bit more of an optimistic approach. So with the ones that have won multiple races, an Outlier has won 5 of his 19 starts. So the horses in here that have only won 1 race, I feel as though often they're a little bit more up against it as opposed to the horses who know how to win, who know how to get the job done.
Leading West remains your favorite, the 4. Last time he was on a fast track, he won. He beat a horse who came back to win his next 2.
Do you like this horse?
I prefer others in this spot.
Me too. I thought there were way more interesting propositions here. I know it's Robertino Diodoro, but I didn't like his last race, Greg.
Vic Stauffer with his 7th from Oaklawn.
They're off. Leading West and Optimus Cat shows speed. Pat's Property and Southerner, a 5-wide Tango Charlie, and a real scramble on for the lead. Then comes Prioritization and Leading West, and the early trailer is JVB. Pat's Property, 3-wide now Tango Charlie, and between horses Outlier. These 3 will set the pace jointly. Now backing off is Prioritization and Southerner. They're 4th and 5th and 2 from the front. Then it's 2.5 to Optimus Cat. Leading West is traveling inside of him. And then 5 lengths last to JVB, and in a contested first half mile. The finish line is the 16th pole, and Pat's Property is the leader. Pat's Property a neck in front of Outlier in second. Tango Charlie will be wide on both turns. He's 3 deep in third. Prioritization is a closer 4th now, and 2 from the front. Southerner has 4 lengths to make up. He's a length in front of Leading West, who advances at the rail in the M&M white. Then comes Optimus Cat. JVB has trailed throughout. Pat's Property has led throughout. Pat's Property from Outlier in second. A neck in front, Outlier is second. 2.5 lengths now to Prioritization. A further out Optimus Cat. JVB is closing in from the back of the pack. He's within 4 of the lead. Leading West stays at the rail. Many chances. Pat's Property cuts the corner and leads. He's a length and a half in front of Prioritization. JVB continues to close in the center. Leading West is 4th, and the final 16th. Pat's Property is still there. Prioritization and Leading West. Pat's Property. Pat's Property won by 3. Prioritization was second. Leading West third. JVB finished 4th.
Kelsey Har, Pat's Property at a huge price. Had been off since May at Indiana.
My girl. Love Kelsey Har. You know, the few times I went early this year, Greg, to Oaklawn, what a hard-working, hard-trying, I want to say young lady, but lady, a mom, and just so nice, so accommodating, puts this one on the lead. We know her to be aggressive. Pat's Property, well done to her and John Haran. Not easy to pick up a horse off Brad Cox and seemingly improve it vastly.
At a big number here in this 7th at Oaklawn. Good for Kelsey, good for John. And a 3-year-old son of Carpe Diem takes the 7th here from Oaklawn. Wow.
Did you catch the final odds on this horse?
I can get them quickly. It was big.
It had to be huge. He had to be the biggest price.
45 to 1.
45 to 1. I mean, that had to be probably the biggest price out there.
Oh, no question.
Big upset here, Greg. Well, we'll see if we get that, though, coming up next.
We're going to talk Saturday Garland of Roses next. Is the ceiling broken? Or is there further to go for this 4-year-old filly, daughter of Constitution, coming off a big effort last time out in the pumpkin pie?
This is the horse.
Is just too good.
This is the horse who became only the 2nd champion 2-year-old to win the Travers in 3 decades. This is the horse who is the only Breeders' Cup juvenile hero ever to lift the Belmont Stakes. History-making brilliance. That's his essential quality. Essential quality. This is the horse. Just imagine.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
it's a Motown, the son of Uncle Mo, to win the Remsen.
Motown flying, Motown will win a Thriller, Motown to win it, and Motown has won the Hollywood Derby.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
We're back on America's Day at the Races. Good to have you with us. Program brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. This was a shocker at Oaklawn. 45-1 here on Pat's property, making just the 4th start of his career. Had been off since May, was with Brad Cox. Moving to a new barn that's only 8% on the year, and that's why he got 45-1.
But, I mean, has had a lot of starters at John Herron Barn and based out of Chicago. So good to see. And Kelsey really just giving this horse his best opportunity. Prioritization, a horse that we questioned that last number. Well, he may have ran to it.
You did.
I did. Oh, okay. Well,
I didn't know what we were going to get from that horse.
Yeah, he was a bit of a wild card. Yeah. Is he going to run to that last race? And we saw several horses just really kind of not show up. We were slightly against the 4 in here leading west, but yeah, a big upset with Kelsey Hara, and good for her. Congratulations to her.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have those prices coming up in a moment. We're going to preview some weekend action ahead quickly. I guess we'll give you the odds for the 8th after this. Garland of Roses coming up on Saturday here at the Big A, and Glass Ceiling just missed against Lady Rocket. Most of you out there know Lady Rocket stretched out to a mile in her next start off this win, and she ran a 106 by her to win the Grade 3 Go for One in dominant fashion.
She demolished that field. It felt as though she should have been running 1-turn miles her entire life, as we do see Glass Ceiling here. This is her winning 2-back in impressive fashion. And Charlie Baker got her to run back to that, too, in the pumpkin pie, albeit over a sloppy track. And Charlie, when he gets these horses that he claims going right, he tends to keep them going that way. And a filly that has seemingly always showed promise just was a bit of a bad actor. You know, she'd get herself really nervous prior to races. And what I've noticed lately is that Charlie has her really mellowed, really focused, and looking sensational. So Glass Ceiling, she's 6-5 on the morning line, though she's going to have to deal with a lady that can control her.
We're going to get to it in a second. Real quick, I just want to ask you, 6 lengths back from her in this race. Star front for Chad Brown. It looks so good in her debut. It's going to be her 4th start coming up. Could she rebound at all?
I don't know, Greg. She's been disappointing, hasn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, she's been. You wanted to give her a pass. Maybe you can give her passes. Maybe it was the first start off a long layoff. She needed it, but then again, she ran really well in her debut. And then maybe the sloppy track last time, but I don't really see why that would have been a problem given her pedigree, given a daughter of Malibu Moon out of Distorted Humor Mare. Though the fact that Chad progresses and still shows confidence in her and putting her in a stakes, maybe that's why you should feel confident too.
We'll see. It's going to be kind of a put-up or shut-up race for Starfront.
Correct.
Meanwhile, Sadie Lady, she is going to be the one to catch in this race, and she is Ms. Reliable. She is 5 for 8 at Aqueduct. 2-back was a winner of the Dance and Renee.
Well, she's Miss Reliable as far as getting the early lead here, Greg. And she is coming back off a bit of a layoff. Trainer Rob Atras saying that she's responded well in the past to having, that 30-day break, got some sunshine on her back down in Florida, and she's come back and she's been working very well. She was disappointing in the Union Avenue. She did not show up that day over the sloppy racetrack.
And you mentioned a big problem for her tomorrow.
Could be rain again. She has not run well. She's only run twice over wet tracks, and there is, as you said, a 60% chance of rain tomorrow.
All right, will that be her undoing? We'll find out. She is quick, she is consistent, but yeah, when it is wet, she has not been at her best. Daughter of Freud, won over $400,000 in her career. That's our feature tomorrow on the Saturday card. Garland of Roses. Meanwhile, the feature tomorrow out at Oaklawn, Poinsettia for 3-year-olds, traveling a mile and a 16th in here. And it's the return of the Arkansas Derby winner, Super Stock, for Steve Asmussen and family.
Yeah, and family. Owned in part by his dad, Keith Asmussen, and the family, along with Irv Woolsey. I can never get that out. But he did set a perfect trip to win the Grade 1 Arkansas Derby against horses that maybe in retrospect, Greg, didn't go on to do much in the latter half of their 3-year-old campaigns. He did come back and win the Zia Park Derby, albeit against 3 other rivals where he was 1-10 that day. So Superstock has some questions to answer. He has run well. He's run well over the racetrack. But when he gets in against some tougher foes, which I do think he meets a little bit more of a quality field than what he's been facing recently, sometimes he doesn't deliver. I like him. I like him as a horse. He's gorgeous. He's very good looking. Luis Contreras will be in the irons for the first time.
That win got him into the Kentucky Derby. Disappointed in the Derby. He was 16th in that 19-horse field. Meanwhile, he has beat this horse in the past. He did so at a mile and an 1/8, Defeater for Tom Amos. But Defeater came out of that defeat, and he looked pretty impressive winning at a mile. Is a mile and a 16th maybe the limit of where he wants to go, or are you willing to give him a pass for that Oklahoma Derby?
Yeah, it kind of feels that way looking at his form, but that was a slow pace that day. He was beaten by 2 other horses that he'll meet in here in Flash of Mischief and Superstock. Defeater, his last race makes him a legitimate contender. But I don't know what to think of him. He's the lesser exposed of many of these in here, but is this all we get from him? Is this the best Defeater? But as you mentioned, as you alluded to, he could step up and be better. Tom Amos, we saw him win with little Tootsie. Hopefully things keep rolling for him into tomorrow's card.
We'll have Ricardo Santana Jr. aboard. He had been the regular pilot on Superstock. As you mentioned, Luis Contreras will ride there. And then you got Flash of Mischief in that mix as well, in between those two.
He's been super consistent.
He has.
Flash of Mischief feels like the most reliable. He has that early speed. We'll see what Superstock does, though. He can be forward. He doesn't need the lead, though, to win.
$92 horse at least. In the 7th at Aqueduct, Pat's Property off the layoff, moving to a new barn, and Kelsey Haar guiding this one to victory. 92.20 for the win. 45-1 over 3-1 and 2-1.
Like I said, massive congratulations to pull off this upset. Pat's Property needed the little freshening, ran the race that we did not see in his first 3 efforts.
Is this the road to next year's Breeders' Cup Sprint coming up?
Could be the tipping point here, Greg, as a horse that was regarded as one of the fastest in the country last year. It makes his long-awaited return here in 2021. We have not seen Nashville, your current 1-9 favorite, since the Grade 1 Malibu on Boxing Day, as they refer to it in England.
Perryville winner. He was dominant in that performance at 1-9. He's 1-9 again for his 4-year-old return. I'm going to be in London for Boxing Day, by the way.
Ditto.
Quick break and the return to Nashville when we come back.
The return of Sunday Silence.
Sunday Silence surges to the front. It's Yoshida in front. Yoshida takes charge at the top of the stretch, and Yoshida wins the Turf Classic.
Here comes Yoshida, storming home in the center with Gunnevera. Yoshida! Yoshida has won the one-word.
The perfect balance. Yoshida.
Hi, I'm Larry McGinnis, stallion manager at Windstar Farm. We're here to talk about this guy, More Than Ready. More Than Ready's made the trip to Southern Hemisphere 19 years. It's really rare to be a sire. Sires in one hemisphere, much less two. He's just a good, quiet horse that has the same personality all the time, just level-headed. Now, I believe that's what it takes to do dual hemispheres, is just take things as they come. His progeny are known for versatility. Turf, dirt, distance, short, rushing fall, and just all these horses that run on different surfaces, different distances. It's just amazing.
Catholic boy is pulling away.
He has the most Breeders' Cup wins with 7, and he's not hardly done yet. He just had his 2000th winner there the other day. No telling where that number could end up.
Back on America's Day at the races, whenever Maggie's at Oaklawn, she gets that corner room
Yeah, right.
at the top. Actually, that whole floor, right?
Yeah, penthouse suite, Greg.
That's what I thought.
They prepare it for me. Strawberry champagne when I arrive.
Here is Nashville, 1-9. We mentioned when he won that Perryville. You brought up, too, Connections were actually thinking about going to the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Instead, they ran on the undercard, and he was pretty dominant in that performance as we take a look at that win back in November of last year.
Yeah, he was running 107.4. That is ridiculously fast. I mean, this horse just bounces out of the gate and is just cleared by multiple lengths at the first call, Greg. He's just wickedly fast. Now, as we mentioned, a new pilot climbing aboard today, Florent Giroux, looking for another win on the card, but he is going to have to deal with the layoff, though he did win by 11.5 lengths in his debut. But coming back off of that minor ankle surgery, some setbacks, as Gary was talking about, with his back. But look at him in the paddock. He looks terrific there, at least from the camera angle.
Off the bench, do you think a positive he only has to go 5.5?
Absolutely. A horse as fast as he is early, but and I don't really see anybody to go with him. So I think that's the perfect setup. It's like they wrote this race for him.
1-9 favorite. Is this the starting point for a path to next year's Breeders' Cup Sprint for this talented son of Speightstown, trained by Steve Asmussen? As mentioned, Florent Giroux will be aboard. And again, you look at this, I mean, there's some token speed, but there's no one with the kind of pace he had as you look at Steve Asmussen and at Florent Giroux talking strategy.
Do we worry about the one hole at all? I mean, not really with how quick he is, and he won that Perryville with the one hole. So
break clean. I mean, you got to break clean pretty much wherever you are, but yeah, he can get into problems if he doesn't. But you got to think too, he's going to be off the bench, could be really fresh and probably going to zip to the front.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there are horses in here that are stakes winners themselves. I mean, you have Hollis, who has that good tracking speed that Ricardo Santana does pick up here for Johnny Ortiz. He's coming in off a little bit of a break, was not very good in his last effort, an optional allowance over at Ellis, beaten by Long Weekend going back to early September. But a horse that, when he shows up with his A effort, he's right there. Probably not Nashville quick, but I think he's probably the other horse in here, Greg, as the board indicates. He's second choice at 9-1.
Yes, he is. Ricardo Santana Jr. will be aboard there. He had been the pilot on Nashville, but we talked about it pretty extensively in this program. That relationship, not what it was, with Asmussen and Ricardo Santana Jr. A lot of mounts going to other riders, and as a result of that, this seems like the year where his 8 straight riding titles, that streak comes to an end.
Could be. I mean, my heart kind of goes out for Ricardo. It's kind of the end of an era, if you will. But he's such a good rider. When his head's in the game, there's really nobody else that you kind of went on your horses out there. So he won those meet titles with the help of the Asmussen barn and just their sheer numbers that they put forth on the racetrack. But he also won those because he's a good rider.
No question. And I think I bet a lot of other barns are very happy to see him available.
Yeah.
1-9 favorite as they come out onto the racetrack. Nashville, first start back since the first defeat of his career. That came with the Grade 1 Malibu when Charlatan ran away with that race.
Could could it have been the 7 furlongs? Could it have been that they came out with an injury? You know, it's the lone blemish on his 4-race career thus far. He's a very, very promising son of Speightstown. As you said, that road to the Breeders' Cup Sprint could start here. So hoping a good performance and a healthy campaign throughout next year.
It'll be fun to watch him do his thing. He is lightning quick when he's at his best. So we'll see how he comes back in here. You got to think, I mean, if he's even close to what he was, there's no one who can put any kind of pressure on him early.
No, there's nobody nearly as fast. You look at that time from U.S. pace figure of an early 1:36. I don't think I've ever seen that, Greg, with another horse.
Exceptionally talented. Of course, Steve Asmussen had another really talented sprinter we saw this summer at Saratoga. Then they stretched him out. He finally got beat Bo Liam, but another horse that put together a couple of sensational performances over the summer. We'll see if these two might be stablemates eventually on a collision course.
Bo Liam retired, though.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not hear that.
He
Okay.
did retire, so we won't see him facing off, luckily for
That's
Nashville.
unfortunate. Here's Nashville, off since December of last year. The Malibu, the first defeat of his career.
Yeah, owned by Windstar Farm and Company here. Looking forward to getting him back at the races. Such a impressive horse in his first 3 starts, though. Class test, doesn't get it here, but I think that's what he got in the Malibu, too.
Nuclear Option went by at 20-1. Here's Mr. Jägermeister.
Mr. Jägermeister, he kind of shows up. He's a horse that has won stakes in his past. He's an old class horse.
600,000 plus
Minnesota
in
bred.
earnings. 12-time winner. Yeah, how about that? Home base for Cipriano Contreras.
Such a good-looking horse. He'll be hoping that they do, I think, hit a little bit up front because he's a horse that I think likes to make that one pounce and run.
Lycan for Ingrid Mason.
Looks like the long shot coming in off of an eased effort, albeit over a sloppy racetrack.
And on the outside, 7-1 here. This is Hollis. 13 of his 21 starts, he's been first or second.
You ride the Long Island Railroad, right?
I do.
And the guy, Hollis.
It's your favorite stop, I know.
It's so my favorite. And plus, I think of the Beastie Boys, too.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
7-1 outside. We'll see if this horse can try and make a dent in Nashville, what he reproduces here in his comeback start coming up. So we're 5 minutes to post here in the 8th. He is brilliantly quick. There was a lot of talk about him, Gary Stevens, especially after that Perryville. What's the strategy here, riding strategy with a new pilot aboard?
Well, if it was me, and Flo is really good at this, you do what the great Bill Shoemaker told me when I was young, just stay out of their way, be a passenger. Look, he's fast. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that there is. Mr. Jägermeister's got some speed, but he doesn't have his kind of speed. The horse looked outstanding in the paddock. He's nice and relaxed, very, very focused right now. Listen, I talked to President of Windstar Farm, Elliot Walden, earlier this morning, asking him about Nashville and this comeback. It's been a lengthy comeback, and it's been a stop and go twice with him. He was had an issue after the Malibu Stakes. They brought him back 4 months later. Steve had him. He had some tightness in the back. They sent him back, just growing pain sort of stuff, and sent him back to the farm. And now today is the day that he's back. This horse to be favored in the Grade 1 Malibu in his last start. Obviously something happened in that race physically. Now he's come back. I'm sure that Steve, accordingly to how he runs today and what how he comes back after the race, he's probably more than likely got that plan set in motion to get him, like you guys were talking about, the Breeders' Cup Sprint later next year in 2022. That's a long ways away. He's going to have several races, but I would say that this meet here is going to have him focused on the Saratoga, hopefully a Saratoga campaign this summer, so we'll get to enjoy him there. But yeah, if I'm Florent Giroux, I just stay out of his way, keep him focused. He's not going to have to send him away from there and rush him. He's going to put him on the lead, I would say, more than likely from that one post position, and just take care of him. Hopefully he gets an easy race today. As a jockey, mentally, you're thinking about the future, not just today. So if he's winning easily, I think you'll probably see Flo gearing him down at the end. That's sort of what I'm expecting from what we've seen of his brilliant but young career so far. Greg?
And I know it's tough when you're looking on a television screen and you're not there, but
Yeah.
what are you seeing from Nashville?
He looks very good. I mean, he does kind of look like a coiled spring. We don't often see Steve's horses get exuberant warm-ups. They typically stay with the pony. If I had to be overly critical, Greg, I wish I'd see him a little bit looser in the way he's moving behind. But you do see kind of sprinters. They will tend to kind of just pound off of behind because they kind of move more like rabbits because they, are quick strided like that. Again, just kind of trying to maybe poke holes in the 1-9 favorite. Fitness, he looks fit enough to win a 5.5 sprint. Will he gain a lot of fitness from this race? Absolutely.
No substitute for doing it in the afternoon. And first start back in a long time here, December 26th of 2020, the last time we saw Nashville racing. As Gary mentioned, favorite in that Grade 1 Malibu. Even the horse who it was third in there, Collusion Illusion, monster runner, Grade 1 winner.
Right. Yeah, so the class of which he has faced. Now, the races he won, Greg, I don't know about the class of those. But he blew those fields out of the water.
And even in that the Perryville, the time, we showed you in the stretch that the race was over before they even got to the stretch. Bango was fourth in that race, though. It became a multiple stakes winner.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there's anyone of that quality in here.
No, that's what I mean. This is a nice spot for him to come back in. But again, Hollis, multiple stakes winner. When he's good, he's very good. And he is capable of running 99 Beyer speed figures. He does feel like a horse that could run some of his better races on a wet track or the turf. But I like the fact that he comes in off a bit of a freshening. He seems to respond well, though he is a horse that ran a lot throughout 2020 and the early part of 2021, and then now he's had some stops and starts, so maybe you take that as the negative. But he does continue to drift down here. Number 3, Mr. Jägermeister. Gary was talking about him. He is a bit of an old class horse and a Minnesota bred that's earned $672,000, as we like to say, the hard way.
Let's go to Jonathan for more.
Yeah, look, it's one of those things. Like, do you need me to sit here and tell you why a 1-9 shot's going to win? Use some horses in the double, right? Maybe the 1, the 5, the 9, 10, 11, 12 horses that are live in the next race. Try to make some money here. But as far as Nashville's concerned, Nashville, I remember when Nashville debuted at Saratoga, and the word on the street was that he was a runoff. And he absolutely was a runoff. He ran off the screen and hid. He won that race. He won at Keeneland. And then he came back and won again at Keeneland. And even kind of stirred up an argument of should they have run Nashville in the Breeders' Cup Sprint based on his speed figure. He would have won that race. Sorry, Whitmore fans. What I will say is Nashville had an excuse in the Malibu. He had 2 excuses. One, he clearly had an issue because we haven't seen him since December 26th. That's obviously one thing that we know for sure. The other thing is he ran into a horse by the name of Charlatan. Let's not forget what Charlatan did, to my opinion, is the best horse in the world right now in Nick's Go. When you look Charlatan in the eye, it wasn't really typically good for most horses. It wasn't good for Nashville. He doesn't have to be the Nashville we saw last time. He just needs to be that quote-unquote runoff that I heard he was when he debuted at Saratoga.
And look, we'd love for him to develop, and this is the starting point, obviously, and become a horse that we see in next year's Breeders' Cup Sprint. We don't know if he's up to that quality when we last saw him, but division that's interesting. Aloha West, your winner of this sprint. They were pointing to Sakara Mile and really thinking heavily about that race, wound up not going. But I wonder maybe Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile next year is on the target for them. Not the sprint since they already won it. We'll see. But a new shooter in the division, if he can, obviously he's got to prove it. And this is the starting point here.
I mean, it's so nice for us to sit up here and pontificate about the Breeders' Cup in 2022, but so much has to go right for these horses to stay healthy, to not miss works, to not miss races. So, yeah, it's fun for us, and I'm sure Connections are thinking about that. But right now, it's trainer Steve Asmussen. He's just thinking about the here and now. Let's get this race out of the way. And I think it's interesting what Jonathan brought up in that they said, quote unquote, that Nashville is a runoff. And he is a horse that he got a late start as a 3-year-old. He is now only coming back as a 4-year-old, about to be 5-year-old, and quote-unquote runoffs, like horses that are hard to manage in the morning. They're incredibly hard on themselves. They don't take it easy. It's like, dude, you're just practicing. You don't have to lay it on the line every time. So you do see these fast horses. They will be those types, but they're also the hard ones to keep on the racetrack.
So you would, depending what we see here, could see limited starts from him to try and pull them together and get him to that race.
I would think he would, as we just saw the pony girl Florent Giroux pull the earmuffs out of his ears, typical of Steve Asmussen and his team. They are all brought over with the earmuffs. But those fast horses that you want them to hear horses coming behind them, pull them out. So that's what they just did there. But yes, Greg, I think he's a horse that hopefully stays healthy, but it's going to be a very calculated campaign, I would think, with him, and some measured training in the morning.
This is exciting. We would love to see the Nashville that we got to see back in 2020 when he was so dominant in that 3-race win streak before he finally was defeated in the Grade 1 Malibu. He'll have the inside post. Florent Giroux taking over for the first time on the Son of Spitestown for Steve Asmussen. 1-5 favorite in his 4-year-old return. Let's go to Vic Stauffer.
They're at the post. They're off. Hollis and Nashville break very fast. Nashville puts ahead in front. Hollis away in second. Mr. Jägermeister is next. Then Nuclear Option and Home Base. And the trailer is Lycan, and Nashville is the leader. It is Nashville into the far turn, and he is fairly flying and leads by 2 from Hollis in second. Mr. Jägermeister moves through at the rail, third now in 2.5 from the front-running favorite. Then comes Home Base, who passes Nuclear Option. 8 lengths last to Lycan. Nashville tries to go all the way. Hollis is second. Nashville to the top of the stretch. Only 3/4 of a length in front of Hollis, who comes to attack in second. Now Hollis is within a neck of Nashville. Nashville and Hollis. Now they are dead even at the 8th pole, and Hollis has taken over the lead. Nashville's gone. Hollis is 3 in front. Nashville is second. Mr. Jägermeister trying to get into second, but Hollis is running them right off their feet. Hollis has opened up a 5-length win. Hollis won by 5. Nashville was second. Mr. Jägermeister third. Nuclear Option fourth.
Former regular rider of Nashville, Ricardo Santana Jr., little payback here, riding for John Ortiz. Hollis blows right by Nashville for the win.
I'd love to know what Ricardo Santana is thinking. I mean, he has him in his sights. Hollis outbroke Nashville in this race. Oftentimes you will see that with horses outside posts, last one in, first one out type of thing, over horses drawn to the inside. Florent had to use him a little bit, Greg, to get to the lead. He sat the lead, and ultimately Hollis just had him measured every step of the way. Good for Johnny Ortiz getting this horse, what looked to be back in peak form here. What was a very good claim way back when in May of 2020, picking up this guy for $50,000. He's a multiple stakes winner now and just took down the highly regarded Nashville.
Jonathan, disappointing because we love to see the stars of our sport, or maybe the future stars, continue to produce in here, but good for Ricardo Santana Jr. Take nothing away from Hollis. This was a big effort.
Absolutely. You think about other sports. You think about, Tom Brady returning to New England. You think about these ex-coaches coming back to their old places and coaching against their teams they've had so much success with. You can't tell me that Ricardo didn't sit in that room before this race and have the focus of a Breeders' Cup race to know that I was taken off of this super talented horse, and only if I can beat him. And he absolutely did. Good for Ricardo.
Wonder what the talk of town's going to be tonight in Hot Springs. This was big. Good for Ricardo Santana Jr., one of the most talented young riders we have in the country. 8-time reigning leading rider at Oaklawn, but he's been forced to find a lot of new business.
And look, we don't know the story. We don't know what happens behind closed doors. And the team was very cold after Saratoga in Kentucky. But there's something to be said about loyalty in this game. It's rare. So it's good to see Ricardo just get this win here.
Hollis, 6-year-old son of Street Sense. Just a win machine. 9th win from 22 career starts and a massive upset beating Nashville here. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, the story of taking care of some of the legends of our sport with what has become really a living museum of horse racing at Old Friends. We'll be back.
Good Magic's in front. Good Magic pulls away from Solomini. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Good Magic to the front of the field in the Toyota Bluegrass to win it. The champ is back. Good Magic in a good-looking performance.
800,000, 75, 875, 8.5. Pete, 775,000. Thank you.
Need help in finalizing your picks for the next race? Check out the Trackmaster selections provided by Equibase on every U.S. thoroughbred and harness track on Naira Bets. Use these selections to get quick expert advice for professionals in the business. Check out the thumbs up graphic next to the pick and the wager pad and scroll down for more details on the horse. Trackmaster selections available on Naira Bets and the Naira Bets app.
A Grade 1 winner on both dirt and turf, War of Will became a classic winner with this victory in the Preakness Stakes. And added a Grade 1 with turf credentials in the Maker's Mark Mile. A winner in Grade 1 placed at 2. Multiple graded stakes victor at 3 and Grade 1 winner again at 4. This son of Warfront has proven his class at every level. At Keeneland November, his first mares and foals sold up to $310,000. War of Will, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Blood Horse Plus, available through bloodhorse.com, provides exclusive, timely, and unmatched content to subscribers, including Fox Sports, Blood Horse branded weekly programs, a detailed stakes winners section, behind-the-scenes videos from Blood Horse staff, on-demand access to deeper horse statistics, and a $5 monthly credit to equineline.com. Upgrade to Blood Horse Plus today.
Back on America's Day at the Races here on FS2. Program brought to you in part by Hillendale at Alapa. We love this sport because you never know what is going to happen in here. And Hollis defeating a 1-5 favorite, Ricardo Santana Jr., former regular pilot of that big favorite Nashville. Now riding Hollis and blows right by this horse for the win.
You know, you wonder how much of an edge that gives a rider when they know a horse, they know how they could possibly beat them. And that's exactly what Ricardo Santana did. Now, maybe, yes, Nashville, not the same, came up a bit short, but he knew that if he applied enough pressure, too, to Nashville, that he could come up a bit weak, and that he did.
$11.20 on this 6-year-old son of Street Sense. Again, a 9th win of his career, and wins at 9-2.
Congratulations to John Ortiz. He's really managed his horse well. He's kind of switched back from surface to surface. He does love a 5.5 sprint, though, that's for sure.
Maiden special weight to close out this Friday card in Hot Springs, 6 furlongs. And wide open betting race. Salute the Flag, Larry Jones, Ricardo Santana Jr. will try and take the last 2 in the card.
Yep, he will. And this one, Salute the Flag, looks to be coming in off of a very good effort, but we'll have to take down Grace's Secret, too.
More in this field coming up in a little bit. Back in 2003, Michael Blowen set out on a course to house former equine stars where they could live out their lives in dignity and where race fans could come and visit some of their favorites from the past. Today, former standouts like commentator, Firm Success, and many others are living out their retirement together at Old Friends.
Summer. Hi, buddy. I'm described as the founder and the president. A better description would be I'm the butler. So I give them the carrots. And a Firm Success is in this paddock here somewhere. I make sure that they feel good every day.
He loves this, don't you? Don't you love this? Don't you love this?
I'm reminded on a constant basis that nobody's coming to this farm to visit me. They're all coming to visit these great athletes. That's little Mike to the right and Game On Dude to our left. That's our $10 million paddock. Little Mike earned $3.5 million, and Game On Dude earned $6.5 million. Right, Bridgestone, huh? This is my horse. This is Summer Attraction. Claimed him on Mother's Day, 1999, at Finger Lakes for $3,500, and he's been with me ever since. We've been together a long time, haven't we, pal? Huh? I just fell in love with him.
Michael Blowen looks like a natural taking care of the horses, but this wasn't always the case. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, he was a Boston Globe film critic who rolled his eyes at the thought of a Hollywood happy ending.
I had an editor at the Globe named Robert Taylor who took me to the track for the first time. We're going to Suffolk Downs. Do you want to come? And we went, and I fell in love with it. I loved the drinking. I liked the gambling. I liked reading the racing form. I liked everything about it. But it was only later that I fell in love with the horses. Alphabet Soup, 1996 Breeders' Cup Classic winner. Here you go, George. This is his pal, Gorgeous George. Hey, Alp, you coming over? But Alphabet Soup is so amazing. He survived cancer. We got cancer treatments for him, and he survived those. And he just turned 30. He's the oldest living Breeders' Cup winner. I got your carrots. He loves to get his back rubbed. Alfie, come here. Please. Pretty please. He loves getting his back rubbed, don't you? Don't you, huh? Yeah. Yeah, we do, huh? He's so cool. One of his sons is running now. His name No Soup for You. No soup for you. Hi, Alf. Silver Charm is the king. He's like Elvis at Graceland. People come from all over the world to see Silver Charm. He has the Kavorka, you know. He has the magic. He's the star. He's got that quality about him. Hi. Can I get my kiss? Thank you. And he loves getting his picture taken, and people take selfies with him, and he adores the attention, and he's the perfect star of Old Friends. Oh, and Silver Charm also is the only horse we have here who's got a trust fund. So Mr. Lewis, before he died, Mr. and Mrs. Lewis set up a trust fund for him. He sends Silver Charm $10,000 a year.
In 2002, Old Friends had only a leased paddock with 2 horses. Today, Blowen's Horse Haven is home to over 130 retired thoroughbreds on a 236-acre farm. Blowen has never felt more at home.
I'm having more fun now than I ever had covering the movies, or ever had when I was a kid, or ever had when you're supposed to have all the fun. Ivan. Because Ivan's big and fat. I believe me, when I was living in Boston, in my younger days, I never thought that I would end up in Kentucky and be homesick when I left Kentucky, because I love this place.
Tremendous what he has put together there, and you could just see the joy in his demeanor that he's doing what he loves.
It's so important. And just to go out every morning and be with the horses, it's like food for the soul. It is the best therapy imaginable. And Michael Blowen, he's living his best life, but he's also paying it back to these horses who gave so much to us as fans on the racetrack.
Yeah, and for race fans who can go and visit these horses,
Right.
take advantage of the opportunity if you get it. Go and see these. Go see Silver Charm. Go see a Firm Success. We got the nightcap still coming up at Oaklawn. We'll get to that coming up in a moment. And Larry Jones, 3-time Kentucky Oaks winning trainer, hoping for a big meet in Hot Springs. He's going to have the favorite in our nightcap with Salute the Flag. Curlin Philly coming up when we return.
It's a domineering display by the ultra-talented McKenzie. McKenzie Preservationist, Vino Rosso and Yoshida. McKenzie's in front.
McKenzie, they've done it. McKenzie has it by 2.
It's McKenzie in a dominant performance. Pure class in the Malibu.
Back on America's Day at the Races. Thanks for spending part of your Friday afternoon with us. Greg Wolf, Maggie Wolfendale, Jonathan Kinchin, Gary Stevens with you. And we got the finale from Hot Springs coming up. That is Salute the Flag, trained by Larry Jones, 3-year-old filly, daughter of Curlin. He has had some tremendous fillies in his day. Jones Barn, 3-time Kentucky Oaks winner in his career.
Oh, that's just incredible. He also trained, or is the second trainer of eventual Horse of the Year, Haverty Grace, Hard Spun, who is just a prolific sire. He's becoming a sire of sires. I'm a Chatterbox as well. She was a gritty little chestnut filly, much like at least what we saw is Salute the Flag there in the paddock.
Not going to be seeing as much of Larry Jones at Churchill and Oaklawn. Going to really next year, or after, I guess, spring at Churchill, head down to the Pea Patch at Ellis and kind of make that home base.
Yeah,
for the
sounds
rest
like
of his
home
career,
base.
it sounds
Sounds like he just wants to kind of train his own horses, have a very small stable, I suppose around 10, and not really have any outside clients, just going to kind of take a step back, chill out.
Well, we'll see if this filly can get it done here. She was impressive in the debut. First time out, she lost by less than 2 lengths behind Grace's Secret.
Peaky Blinders fans will know Grace's Secret as the fictional horse of Tommy Shelby's.
That's right. When is the final season coming up?
I don't know.
I've been
I
waiting.
mean, on Twitter, they were like, oh, filming over the summer. And then it's been crickets lately, Greg.
Yeah.
I'm jonesing for some Tommy Shelby, little Peaky Blinders action.
If
but
you've not seen it,
not
you gotta get caught up before the final season comes up. So got to deal with Grace's Secret, who finished ahead of her. And for Grace's Secret, though, that was start number 6 of her career, and that was Salute the Flag's debut.
Right. There's so much more room for improvement, though I will say it does seem as though Grace's Secret maybe took a step forward coming in off the layoff. Now is a later 3-year-old, that natural progression going forward. But maybe, Grace's Secret kind of got the better run of it, whereas Salute the Flag, she was kind of mixing it up early in the 5.5 sprint. So, like you said, or alluded to, there's much more room to improve with Salute the Flag.
Yeah, upside, certainly you lean to the 5 big time here at 2-1. Daughter of Curlin for Larry Jones. Ricardo Santana Jr. again looking to take the late double. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back post-parade from this finale when we return.
Run Happy is the #1 second crop sire by stakes winners, graded stakes winners, and earnings. Run Happy is represented by Smile Happy, the Kentucky Derby individual Future Pool 1 favorite. A leading dirt sire, and now with an exciting Kentucky Derby hopeful. Call Bernie Sams now and book your mare to Eclipse Champion Run Happy right now. Run Happy standing in stall 1 at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
Back on America's Day at the Races finale from Hot Springs, Arkansas. 9th at Oaklawn coming up as the fillies make their way onto the racetrack here. We'll get to our post-parade here in a moment. Salute the Flag favored over Grace's Secret right now, who's even I expect her to be the favorite, but I didn't expect to see 7-1 on Grace's Secret.
No. I mean, that's my hunch play, Greg. Huge Peaky Blinders fan. My first daughter's name is Grace. It's like, boom, sign me up.
You bet this filly every time out so far?
No. I've not followed her that closely. I followed the Tommy Shelby. Or is it Thomas Shelby? The chestnut with the white face, Robertine.
Thomas Shelby, yeah.
Thomas Shelby, yeah. Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's turned into a nice horse,
He has.
yeah. There's a whole cast of characters from Peaky Blinders running on the racetrack these days.
There is. So just they need to get that 6th season out. I wonder if, they shot that because they talked about making a movie, if there just isn't going to be a 6th season and it's just going to be a movie.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
No, I think they're going to have the season and then the movie on
That's
top
what they're
of that
supposed to do.
as well.
That's what they're supposed to do, but it's just been there hasn't been any news about it so
He ran big
far.
this summer at Saratoga, Thomas Shelby.
Yeah, he did.
So post-parade here coming up. Salute the flag for Larry Jones. We will see in a moment. We start with Martique Miss.
A daughter of Lee switching back to the main track. Lee's kind of get, other dirt performances in her fastest race to date. Came going long, though, on the dirt.
Terra Nova, 2-back Keeneland. She faced a good one named Goodnight Olive.
How's this horse not trained by John Terranova?
I know, seems strange.
It's
No, it's Brian
sacrilege.
Williamson with this Kentucky bred.
Yeah, she's going to have to get a little bit faster.
November Rose, second time out for her big jump up in class.
Yeah, Norm Cash picking this one up out of that debut effort in the maiden 30 last time out. Like you said, probably has to take a step up here, though figures-wise makes her a fringe player.
So here's Salute the Flag, was a length and a quarter behind Grace's Secret in that debut.
Had good tactical speed, would not be surprised to see much of the same, if not even closer to the front end.
Dan was graded stakes place, produced Paleo Flag among others. Here's Lady Commander for Jinx Fires.
Yeah, second off of a layoff, did not show much in her last 3.
0 for 10 on Aiden Ike.
Aiden Ike, she kind of shows up. I mean, she has been in the exactor try 6 of her 10 career starts.
Church Service at 11-1 here, the great daughter of Creative Cause.
My girl Kelsey Harb, again, trying to spring another upset, though this one has run fast enough to give a look to.
Kizzy B coming out of a race in the slop at Keeneland, showed speed in that race.
Oh, she's just had so many chances, Greg. She's run races that make her a player here, but for about to be 5-year-old, 0 for 14 thus far.
Hot Topic, first-time starter for Ron Moquette.
Did you ever shop there? Hot Topic?
I have not.
I mean, who are you? My entire, high school.
Really?
Let's go to Hot Topic at the mall. Anyway, very nice pedigree, though, on the horse.
They're guys and girls clothes?
Well, it was kind of like a little bit of a goth store. And then they've had, a lot of prank gifts and stuff, and we're blowing this post-parade. But Hot Topic, the horse, at least, the dam, greatest stakes winner on the synthetic, but a multiple stakes winner on the dirt, too.
And Grace's Secret, again, we talked about her. She's 7-1. She finished just ahead of Salute the Flag. And then outside you have up-and-coming star Steve Asmussen.
Yeah, up-and-coming star at Shield, turn back in distance. These route to sprint type of moves, they make sense. So the first time it did not result in a win or even a good performance, that is, back at Churchill on September 26th.
4 minutes to post in the nightcap. Let's head back to Gary Stevens.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to talk a little bit about the 10-horse, the first-time starter for Ron Moquette, Hot Topic, just the fact, and it has to do with sort of a trend that I've seen now in the opening 4 days of this meet, that this track is, I won't say that it's speed favoring, but it's sure being kind to speed. It's tough to make up any ground here. And this filly's kind of showed her hand in a couple of her works that were very speedy. One at Churchill Downs, one here. Looks like she's ready to fire, and looks like she's got some early pace in her. Whereas Grace's Secret and Salute the Flag, both those fillies came from off the pace. I expect Salute the Flag to show some more pace than what she did her first out today. She did lay third that day and ran a really good race. Larry Jones's horse has really improved, second career start out. Grace's Secret, she's doing well, looks great out on the racetrack, looked good in the paddock. The thing that worries me the most about Grace's Secret is this track and her style of running. If she drops back too far, and loses a lot of ground in this big field, she's up against it. But at currently at 10-1 on Hot Topic, I think there's some value there. But this is a wide open event, guys.
All right, Gary, thanks. 6-1 on that first-time starter. Talking about the 10, Hot Topic, who I'm told Jonathan Kinchin has a sponsorship deal with.
No, I won't walk in there now, but I have gotten some T-shirts there before. I think I got like a Rolling Stones T-shirt before I could even name anyone in the band, but I just thought it would be kind of cool. Most people probably aren't surprised about that. And I also have Peaky Blinders info. Aunt Polly in real life actually passed away, a little bit of COVID. I think maybe that's why there's a delay. So Aunt Polly in the show obviously was so cool, and it's unfortunate for her real life family, but it's also gonna, obviously the show will suffer. How can we not play the 11 Grace's Secret after this conversation? We've got Maggie on the show, the 11 Grace's Secret. She actually ran pretty well last time. Took a little bit of money. Was wide all the way around there. Kind of has that nice draw that I like when I'm looking at Oaklawn Park. I like horses that can get that kind of outside stalking trip. I worry about the stalking part. She doesn't really have a ton of early speed, but I do think that she'll be in a nice position. And how can we not go with the hunch play of Grace's Secret? A little Peaky Blinders, a little Morley Wolfendale family.
I'll say this, too.
You know?
This was off a long layoff, so it's not like building on 6 consecutive starts. We hadn't seen her since January 23rd. This was November 18th, so she could improve off this.
Now, you know, Greg, I've never seen her in the flesh. She switches back to her inside lead there. Gary's saying she looks good. She also looks like a filly that carries her weight, which is kind of typical of Cairo Prince fillies. They tend to be robust and therefore sometimes kind of stuffier types where they need to get a race into their belt to really gain that fitness, to get that lung in their air in their lungs. So I like her. I mean, I like her beyond the hunch play. I thought her this race back was a good effort, a step in the right direction, and there's every reason to believe she could have needed the proverbial start.
Yeah. We'll see if she can build off it. But, I mean, look, there's no question.
That is a full cut blinker.
Salute the flag.
Salute the flag.
Yeah, upside potential here, making start number 2.
I think Ricardo gets aggressive with her. She was fast enough in that debut, going the 5.5 to at least keep pace. Second start now. Ricardo aboard. He gave her a big warm-up, huge set of blinkers on her. I think they try to control this race. There's some other quick types in there here, but there's no real confirmed speed, Greg.
Looking at that Grace's Secret race, I mean, a jump or two past the wire, she wins that race.
Yeah.
She was really moving well late. And the fact that you're getting 6-1 versus 3-2 is enticing.
For a horse that finished ahead of her.
Yeah.
Ahead of the 3-2 favorite. So, yeah, as JK mentioned, maybe you're worried about the fact she doesn't have that much early speed. But her second start, she did. So, and that was a fast pace she did get to close into last time. Why isn't she kept just a little bit closer today? And isn't this our very own Gary Stevens rider? Does he have Giovanni Franco? I don't know. I might be speculating there. Pardon me if I'm wrong, Gary. But he will be climbing aboard. We don't have Gary to check back in with. Hopefully he can get things rolling. Mike Puich, trainer of this one.
Yeah, he's representing 2. He's going to be a busy man. He's going to be representing 2 riders at the meet.
Right. I thought one was this rider.
Yeah, Giovanni Franco and Tiago Pereira.
Yep. So good luck, Gary. Gary was talking about David Cabrera's mount here, Hot Topic, the lone first-time starter for Ron Moquette. And those works, they look good on the surface of things. I wonder if she does have a little bit of early speed here with a race that is crying out for kind of one to show that.
Well, look, Larry Jones, who's done his best work of his career with fillies, who moves horses up in their second starts. It's the upside play. She showed potential first time out, but 7-5 versus 6-1. I'm willing to take a stab at 6-1 here.
Yeah.
Even
I think
we should take a look, even to be honest, at what this exact is paying.
Very true.
So 5 with 11.
You know, even
$30 for 2.
Wow. What about number 9, Kizzy B? They had her entered. What's today? Today. They had her entered today also at Fairgrounds. I didn't look at that race. Maybe she was an MTO or something. But they do ship her up. Might sit him in his crew. Do you put any credence in that? I mean, she is kind of turning back a little bit. And like I said, she is 0 for 14, but she's run races that could win this.
No, and she's a player in here. And there's not a ton of showing speed at Keeneland. She gets checks too, doesn't she?
Yeah. I mean, 8 of her 14 career starts thus far, she has hit the board. She's made nearly 100,000. So she goes out for good connections.
She's probably going to be in front.
Back into the barn of Mike Stidham. I mean, like I said, we could see a different dynamic from your favorite Salute the Flag, but she's not going to be outpaced. Number 9, Kizzy B.
Finale coming up, the rematch between the 5, Salute the Flag, the 11, Grace's Secret. Let's go to Vic Stauffer to close things out here in Hot Springs.
They're at the post. They're off. Hot Topic, Kizzy B, and Terra Nova shows speed. Between horses goes Up and Coming Star, and moving up is November Rose. Down at the rail, Martique Miss. Then Salute the Flag, Church Service, and Aiden Ike, followed by Lady Commander, and the trailer is Grace's Secret. Terra Nova's quickest up the backstretch and leads November Rose by a length and a quarter. Kizzy B, Hot Topic, and Martique Miss moving nicely at the rail, all within 2.5 of the front. Up and Coming Star has 5 lengths to make up. She's 3 in front of Salute the Flag. Another 3 to Lady Commander. Church Service has 12 to close. Grace's Secret and Aiden Ike has been pulled up at the back of the pack. Top of the stretch, Terra Nova is the leader. Terra Nova, a 2-length advantage on Martique Miss in second. Up and Coming Star in the orange cap is moving within 3 lengths of the lead. Final furlong, Terra Nova has the lead, but here comes Up and Coming Star after her, and she means business. Terra Nova a length in front. Up and Coming Star right alongside. Up and Coming Star right on by. Up and Coming Star, Grace's Secret flies late. Up and Coming Star. Up and Coming Star beat Terra Nova 3 1/4. Martique Miss third. Grace's Secret finished fourth.
Up and Coming Star. That's a $500,000 daughter of Into Mischief. Breaks through start number 6 to break her maiden for Steve Asmussen. Grace's Secret just left herself with a lot of work to do.
She was like 20 lengths out of it down the backside, and Up and Coming Star always in a good tracking position. The turn back from a mile and back to a fast track for the first time in 3 starts. Did the trick.
Ramon Vasquez, Steve Asmussen, Heiligbrodt, Into Mischief filly. Takes the nightcap. That's going to do it for us. We are back tomorrow.
Yep.
4 to 6 on FS2. We will see you then. Hope you join us. Going to be a good card. And we have that Garland of Roses from Aqueduct, as well as that stake action, the poinsettia for 3-year-olds and Super Stock Arkansas Derby winner back at Oaklawn Park. We will see you then. 7th at Aqueduct. Repo Rocks. He's in the form of his life right now. Back-to-back wins. Impressive in victory. And not only is it Maggie's favorite stop on the Long Island Railroad, Hollis getting another win out in Hot Springs. Ricardo Santana Jr., big upset of 1-5 favorite Nashville. We'll see you tomorrow on America's Day at the Races.